gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you're looking for inclusion, then talk to me. Talk to the family tree. We can all ride when it's time to slide on our enemies. And we can all ride when it's time to override these policies. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with us. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with us. You gotta show me trust. You wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies against us. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust. If you wanna ride with us, you gotta show me love. No more riding with lies. You gotta show me trust.
What he was about, and we understood the difference between entertainment and who he was as a person every day. That's two different things.
But what I'm trying to say is that Tupac was a global icon, and he kind of popularized the term thug. Like, he has thug life across his stomach. So
yeah, but he also explained when he started getting.
Would you say Tupac is a white supremacist?
No, he explained why he got thug like tied across his chest and what happened, and then people started listening to him more. You see what I'm saying? He explained that in his music, and respect him before that. He was saying the same words of black empowerment and stuff like that. He was saying that before, right? Now he's paying attention because he's a black dude, and if he with thug on his chest, now everybody listening, and then you had people, white folks coming at him. We knew what it was already. We knew his first songs. And it was all about empowerment and lifting and stuff like that. I've seen his interviews since he was 16, 17. And we know his Oakland history, right? No different than Kendrick Lamar. That's why the Kendrick Lamar took after him.
So that's would it be unfair for them to draw their conclusion based on the Hughes brothers or John Singleton or Tupac?
Well, personally, it doesn't really matter to us what other people think because we know what it is already. You know, we don't have no problem explaining it. But so, you know, it's like actors like, well, that's like what somebody said, well, white people might think, like, I don't care what white people think. I know what it is. We know what it is. FBAs know what it is, right? We already know. We can even talk in a different language where I can barely say any damn words, and the guy knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, you know, it's a little different. But y'all right in there too, man. You know,
What I'm saying is the stereotypes go both ways. Like when people in like Black America, when they first think of Like Jamaicans,
well,
they think
I
of
guess it goes
people that smoke weed.
however you want to take it. I mean, they got some weak-minded people and that miss the message on everything. I mean, that's how I pretty much take it.
Right.
Right. So some people miss the message.
I'm just trying to say that
some people. I know the society call him a thug, or that when he shot, he used a arm against 2 officers before, so he was labeled as that in society. And he just rolled with it.
Right. So as far as white supremacy and stuff like that, I don't really care, man. The way I see it, pretty much, I think they got 25% of decent white folks that don't have a problem with black folks. I think there's another percentage, 25, that don't even know that they prejudiced or bigoted in some type of way because they was groomed with it. And then you have your hardcore racists, and there's a difference between real racists. I'm down here, so I know them. I've been around swastika racists, and I know them who don't like nobody, right? And like, I have to talk to one on one. I said, well, y'all worry about the wrong things, fella. Yeah, Ron, did you hear my question?
Nah, what was the question?
I was listening you talk about how, like, basically white people's and white supremacy kind of structured the image of thugs and ghetto as a whole, as far as through redlining and or sabotaging different black communities, i.e. Soul City or Black Wall Street and things like that. Would you call Tupac or John Singleton or the Hughes brothers white supremacists also that promote these movies or promote thug life to the masses?
No. So because you got something called movies, right? So when you already so it goes back to the few black folks that actually bought their freedom and actually owned slaves, like and treat their slaves no different than a white man. Okay, harshly, forced labor. It was a few percentage of black owners who actually did that, FBAs who did that. Okay, so now these folks, that's all they know, right? So white supremacy bred them to and raised them to believe that this is the only way to survive in this country. So you can't really blame the victim for trying to survive by behaving that this is the only way to survive. So with the John Singletons and the Tupac, Tupac is a bad analogy because Tupac had 2 sides of him, right? He had a thug side, he had the black woman's loss type side to him. So their mama. So he'll be the Brennan got a baby. He'll be the wrong example to use, more like maybe like a 50 Cent type of guy will be more fitting. But again, like, I can't blame a victim. They call it Stockholm syndrome. If you kidnap a white woman and keep her for a couple months and then she want to rob banks with you, white folks call that Stockholm syndrome. So they don't blame the victim for taking on the behavior of the victimizer. So for the John Singleton to take on what the victimizer has been doing to us and basically prepared us to receive that type of abuse, because those movies were based on abuse, like black abuse, to even have an audience for black people, meaning that we were not in our right mind state. So he was wrong, and but I would be a little lenient on him because I understand the conditions that he was under to make a movie. Now,
so you can't blame him for promoting the stereotypes?
Well, like I say, he's a victim of the stereotypes. So now, if he was Chinese, doing that, then I'll be more harder on him. If he was anything other than a victim, right? Look at Cassie. Are you following the Diddy case?
Yeah.
Okay, but wasn't Cassie complicit on a lot of those recalls? She made phone calls, she hired folks, but they're saying she's a victim, so you can't, even though she participated, they're saying she's immune to the crime because she was a victim as well. So I look at John Singleton no way different. I looked at him as a victim participating in white supremacy.
Okay. So why can't the Africans get the same benefit of the doubt that they're just victims?
No, but they're not. They're not. To be a victim, okay. So if you ask a question, you got to be ready for the answer.
Pardon me for the last one, but explain why.
Okay, because Africans and Jamaicans were not here under Jim Crow laws, black codes, and they were not here doing serving a slave bid, and they were not here under the peonage system. They were not in the steel mills. They were not in the coal mines. They were not running to the north and the west during the Great Migration period because of white heinous, violence. So that's a different, right?
What you're saying none as a none period, or you just saying none as in like small quantity?
So Kev, so this is the problem I will have with Kwame and Texas like him, dude.
I think they start coming in about the mid 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, of course. So now watch this. So I already showed him the percentage of foreign black people in this country during that time. They were like non-existent in the South. They were at that time. They were literally non-existent. Like they were, like think of a Northern Sentinel person in America. Like it's probably one or two, but it's so insignificant nobody even bring them up. So at that time, he's talking about the 1, 2, 20 foreign blacks. That was zero compared to 4 million black people who are being affected by this by this behavior from white supremacy and systemic racism. So yes, you're claiming 1, 2 people.
In the South, we don't have like Jamaican towns and in areas like that. Like
he doesn't know
on the
that.
East Coast at all.
I didn't know that until I moved down here. So I know you don't know that
at all. All through,
but I'm saying
of America, but
if they're ignorant, of the history and
yes,
and the education as far as a whole, as far as redlining, because not even a lot of black Americans know about redlining or sharecropping.
Yes. Okay, look, brother. What you're talking about 20-year-olds, okay, 15-year-olds. Their mother does, and their dad does. Okay, so that's false. Their dad, their mother experienced what you're talking about, and they know from their mother and dad. So it's definitely been passed down. So now this 20-year-old, 15-year-old rebellious, crash out group, I don't know what's in their mind state. Okay, but so we're not gonna go to the extreme, but most black Americans know what redlining is. They know what discrimination is, and they for sure know what racism is. If nothing else, they know it. Now they might not understand redlining. They might have heard it. They might not understand it, and they might not even understand what convict leasing is, brother, or the hiring out. They might understand these things.
Oh, they don't know what redlining is if you explain it to them, especially when they get to voting.
Exactly. But even voter suppression. If you say that, they don't know what that is. But if you just say Jim Crow or racism, they would know what that is, and they don't, like you said, Kev, they don't know that these fall in that. Okay, so Kwame, what you're doing is disingenuous. Now, what I can't do is say because of 3 black Americans were in Jamaica and they got rights, right, where they were not violated. They had a good life in Jamaica. I can't say Jamaicans are now tapping of a bad government or politics. I can't just say, nah, it's all good because these 3 black Americans. No, that's not how that works, bro. We're talking about the masses, the significant group that matters, that represents the whole. So what represents the whole of Southern slavery is our black Americans. We represent the whole. We represent the whole of the events of Southern slavery. No, not even white folks. There was more white folks going through the same thing more than non-blacks. White Americans also were in coal mines, being forced in to steel mills. Yeah, but it's a small number.
Yeah, I know about the Yemen farmers and stuff like that. Yeah, I know about that.
Okay. But listen.
No, you had the Irish too. You had the Irish. There was a big.
Of course, the Irish would never sit here and act like, well, they're not a historian, will ever act like they experience what we experience, because they are experiencing what they're experiencing because of us. Don't forget, like the stereotypes against darker people started with us. When the Irish got here, it was already lit. Right, so like, hey, who are you? All right, well, you're joining this Negro stereotype, campaign where we bash Negroes. So that's just a false comparison, false analogy that people do.
What I'm trying to say is, wouldn't John Singleton and the Hughes brothers have more of a authority position to put out a better outlook on Black Americans rather than the Nigerians or
wait, Kev, real fast. Look, bro, Kev, I'm used to these conversations. Hey, Kwame, are you familiar with the LGBTQIA plus community?
Yeah.
Okay, if you are you heterosexual?
Of course.
Okay, so if you said the FAG word, right, anywhere, out loud at your job, social media, what would probably happen? Some type of condemnation, type of consequence, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now if a person part of that community who are living an alternate lifestyle, if they said it, will it hit the same? Will they be penalized?
No, probably not to the extent of
Right.
a heterosexual.
No, not at all. That's why Black Americans can say the N-word and nothing happens in a job. But if a white person or Hispanic said it, we could get them probably fired or in a meeting at the very least. So what I'm saying is, bro, when you're a victim of it, you're not condemned by taking on the behavior of the victimizer. You missed that when I said Stockholm Syndrome earlier. You missed that because you don't want to listen. You just want to rebuttal and argue.
No, I heard you with the Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay. So have you heard the expression hurt people hurt people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah. Okay, so brother, if a person was touched and they display that behavior, that person will be held more leniently than somebody who's never touched and exerted that behavior, right? Okay.
To some extent, yeah.
No, to all the extent that's considered in court. All right, see, hey, Kev, with this guy, you can't have a conversation. Hey, yo, if right now, the R. Kellys, the Diddy's, the Epstein's, when they go to court, some of their defense is, hey, I've been abused too. Because
they're taking it into consideration. They might not say they behind, but they're taking it into consideration.
Right.
You definitely want to say it.
It'd be more lenient. But if you say I've never been abused and I did this, you're going to be held more of a monster than a victim. So I keep saying that to Kwame, dude, the victim is expected to behave like the victimizer, Kwame.
Okay.
Not the non-victim.
Right. Just think about
because
back in the day. They tried to buck break us for a reason. Back in the days, they tried to buck break us for a reason, right? And hopefully that mentality passed on. So did the Catholics.
Right.
The Roman Catholics. It was big with that. Big with children and little boys.
So essentially, you're basically saying that the Nigerians, etc., they should educate themselves more on Black American history before having a synopsis on what they think is the overall outlook, right?
Well, I'm not saying essentially, but I'm saying essentially, bro, that it's never good to take advantage of a people disadvantages. Okay, so if you're Nigerian and you come to America and you want to exploit Black people from their current condition, that's never a good thing. Even if you're FBA, it's not a good thing. So, but Kwame, what happens is that we look into the psychology of why a person will be a hurt to themselves, and that's why I keep saying hurt people. Black people in this country have been hurt. So when a John Singleton spring up and come with the same movies, that's considered a hurt person hurting back. Okay? Now, the colonizer is not seen in that same light because he was never hurt like that. So when he comes and have these propaganda machines, Africans are cannibals and Hispanics are this, like, he don't get any sympathy because, like, yo, that's unwarranted. Like, yo, where does this come from? You just hate these people for no reason. So you look into the psychology.
Right. Look, like as far as as far as movie making and stuff like that, I worked in the industry for about 4 or 5 years. I worked on the show Queen Sugar. I was a stand-in actor for the guy Kofi Brown in Hollywood with the same shit, height and skin tone. That's how you do background. They have that was Oprah Studios that had that. They also have 50 was trying to open up a studio up in Shreveport. You also have one of the brothers that's opening up another one down here in New Orleans. See, that being, now you can tell your story. You don't have to go through you wouldn't go get funding like talking about We are just starting to get to the point that we can tell our own story, direct our own movies. You know what I'm saying? So we still coming out. It's a slow process, but I still see progression in that. We ain't got to pay attention to what they putting on TV and stuff like that all the time anymore. We can go to some real old history stuff. Since they try to erase it, we can put it right back out there. Sinners was that's how it was in the 1930s, right? And that, you know, that my grandfather and them, we had outhouses and stuff like that when I was a kid, and they had juke joints. You know, so those kind of things, and you could tell a story and you can send the message that we want to send. Nobody can tell our story but us. And we just not really getting to put it out there. So, you know, we can go to, you know, Tupac and the other guy and stuff like that. Those are just one or two little spots on the bigger spectrum, and we starting to move forward on that, right? Because as soon as we get out, FBA start putting their thing out, everybody gravitate to us. Right, so if we could put our own thing out, and we go, because my biggest fear is our kids don't know our history well enough yet. So now they need to get it refreshed on that, because things will change in America again. It's going to change. And Trump kind of announced that when he got in, and we knew what that meant. We knew exactly what he meant when he was talking about immigration. We're like, okay, well, Trump, you know, them white folks go send all of y'all. So, and I got a friend of mine. He's Jamaican, and he did a year, and I think he did like 6 months for, you know, got caught with some of his medication, and that was like 10, 11 years ago. But his name on paper, you know what I'm saying? He can't well, you know, just stack your money up, man. You know, they got to prepare for that, because we know what's gonna happen. We knew that already. Now they're bringing in South Africans and stuff like that, and we keeping a close eye on Trump too. And it ain't like we just for him like that, you know. But I'm damn sure against the illegal immigration. That's messing it up for all of y'all, everybody else. We ain't had no issues until the Democrats tried to flood the damn market. So we got to pull back, you know, to our own, and you know, y'all been around for a minute, so hopefully everybody good on this end, and let him deal with the illegal immigrants, because they ain't gonna stop doing it. This is only the first few months. This got to go on for years. It's gonna go on through this whole thing. They want, what is it, 20 million? They want all of them out. The ones with expired visas, they want them out. Anybody protesting against the small curly hair people and stuff like that with Palestinians, they gonna put you out. They don't care about that. All that other stuff. El Salvadorians and stuff like that. MS-13, he declared war, a state of emergency. That gives him like a lot of power. That's almost like wartime. Got the troops on the border. So that's why I tell you, one, you shouldn't travel at all if you're not from here. Definitely that. But we knew that all that was gonna happen, so we kind of sitting back and watching everything unfold. You know, my only issue is like he's messing with the Smithsonian. Now we can't mess with our history. That's when we got a problem. But one thing is, I've seen an interview. I forgot the other guy's name, but they interviewed Ice Cube recently in his plan for Black America with Dr. Claude Anderson and Liv Cornell West and some of the top. I want to see what they're gonna do with that. You remember that the Republicans picked that up. The Democrats refused to even look at it. And so I want to see what come out of that, because all we need is reparations. A crime.
What did the Republicans? Sorry to interrupt. What did the Republicans pick up?
They interviewing Ice Cube and the plan for Black America, right? Which Ice Cube presented to both the Democrats and the Republicans a while ago. Yeah, I know you remember that, brother. Remember they had a big old deal about that. But the Republicans took it and read it the last administration when they was in there. The Democrats never took it when Biden was getting there, and they completely ignored it. So now they're doing more interviews with, you know, Black Americans now, because we got to present what we looking for. We're not getting nothing on this end. We're getting a whole lot of votes and nothing. DEI don't help us. All that kind of foolishness there. So that's why we're moving away from that. And I started moving away from that after Obama, when we ain't getting nothing done. And when you tell us, when you sit up there and say, what are you doing? I ain't gonna do nothing for Black people, specifically for Black people. No, that's all I need to hear. What you think all this protesting, marching, and beatings and all that kind of stuff since King days and X days and Panther days was for? It's the same thing. They just changed the narrative. We still acting for the same couple things. Reparations, equality, and pretty much leave us alone. And we good. But American society don't want to do that.
Right. I hope that's one of the issues that Ice Cube do bring up is reparations.
Right. That's all we ever ask for. When you ask people, okay, you know, even with our politicians, I got a major problem with our politicians. We got too many corrupt politicians that's going for the bag, or APAC owns their butt. We got New Orleans. I lived in an 80% black city. We don't have no black businesses. We only have one now on the money-making areas in New Orleans with 80% black folks. Same thing in some of these dang gone cities, and they're going to crash out for the immigrants. That's crazy. I think we need to push to get more governors so we don't have situations like in Mississippi where the governor they've been with $77 million and none of them went to the people it was supposed to go to. They've been doing that for generations and decades. The government money never got to the poor people or the people, you know, the numbers and stuff like that. Those are the things that FBA still got to fight with. I don't give a damn what a Nigerian think. If they, you know, I mean, good for them. If they got a better education, when you go, we don't care about that. We're on another mission. We still got little dudes getting shot and hung. Right. So, and I'd be damned that this little black dude in Texas that stabbed the white boy, he better not go to jail. I'll come out there for that. Because we had Martin, and that was right here in New Orleans. A guy bumped into an NFL player, I think his last name was Martin. He played for the Jets. You can Google it and stuff like that. And he got out and went to the car. The white dude shot him and won a self-defense case. And the South is different. We can carry ours in our car on the seat. That's not an issue. Same thing, you know, they had situation, you know, in Florida. The guy went in the store, white guy goes cussing out and fussing at his old lady because the way they was parked. He came out and pushed the white guy shot him. And won that self-defense case. This boy better not go there if these two big 6'4", big-ass white boys wind up handling them or sneaking them after he told them leave him alone. Okay, well, damn. You ain't want to fight? You ain't want to get into that? You can't win that? That's fear. So you got a lot of groups.
You went out, brother.
Oh man, he waiting on you.
Hello?
He waiting on you.
Yeah, I don't know why my phone just went out.
Yeah,
can you repeat the last thing you just said? Hello?
Yeah, no, he went out. He went out.
Okay. So I don't think we really disagree on much about as pertaining to, I would say, the propaganda or the media coverage. Maybe both sides need to educate themselves on both culture and know
it's not. It's okay, Kwame. I mean, it's not rocket science, bro. If I was to move to, let's say, you know how Burkina Faso looking for help. If I was to move there, bro, what I wouldn't do is talk about the coups that came by. Like their cool culture. Like, yo, these coups, that's wild. Y'all keep taking over. That's why this would be saying what they got at Kwame. Like for you to act like we don't have no legitimate argument, no real complaint is like beyond us. So we're listening in like disbelief. Okay, so look, had we come over to Burkina Faso to help security, to help
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, my brother.
Yeah, nah, you good, King.
Yeah,
Ron, you went out. I ain't hear the last
okay.
So Kev, let me say this final thing. I mean, if I want to go help Ibram Touré, okay, I'm helping. You know, now obviously I did nothing to. I'm no reason why the country is rebuilding. I'm no reason why they got security team. I'm no reason why nothing. I'm just there as a visitor, seeking an opportunity, right? To be great, like kind of how a lot of black folks come over here as non-FBA. Just an opportunity, right? But they did nothing to create that opportunity. They came over here as guests, no problem. Now, what I'm not going to do is start criticizing their past governments, their past leaders. I'm definitely not going to regurgitate the propaganda the French said about them. In that Channel 24 news, you know what Ibrahim Touré resents. He hates it. He calls it a white supremacist propaganda machine. He hates the 24 French media and something else. He hates them. He said these are ops. This media is ops of Burkina Faso. They paint us a bad image. They represent us and misrepresent us in the worst way. Okay, so now if I went over there and started to make movies similar to the French, or if I seen a Burkina Bay disrespecting Burkina Bays, right? That's not a pass. Oh, Burkina Bay's doing it, so let me come do it. That's disrespectful. I'm not Burkina Bay, so they're not going to tolerate me the same way they tolerate their own, because they kind of understand the psychology of their own doing it, because they're probably defeated, traumatized, all types of stuff going on. Stockholm syndrome, a lot of things why this Burkina Bay person is borrowing talking points of the French. But for me to come from America over there and borrow talking points of the French and exploit the Burkina Bay, no different from this weirdo, John Singleton Burkina Bay, that's not justified. It's no excuse. That's horrible. What I'm going to come over there and do is represent myself as a foundation Black American, and I'm going to represent excellence. I'm not going to exploit no Burkina Bay. I'm going to speak truth to power, and whatever I got going on is going to be representing or reflective of just that. Any business, any media, anything I do, any influence is going to be Black excellence. I'm not going to exploit Burkina Bay the way the French would do, or any psychotic Burkina Bay guy with an agenda. That's what we're not going to do. So when they come over here, when we have Black folks come over here and do that, no, that's unacceptable on all levels, and there's no justification for that. You can't say, well, look at John Singleton. Okay, but what that got to do with you? Okay, look, is John Singleton right? No. So why are you doing it? Why would you be wrong? Who's saying he's right? At the end of the day, whatever excuse I give him, he's wrong. So why are you wrong like him? How about be right? Do the right thing. Like the movie, Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. I'm going mute.
I mean, you got a point, but it kind of worked both ways when people had never been to Nigeria or these type of places, and they say, oh, yeah, they live in mud huts and things like that. So
we don't speak about Nigeria too much. Yeah, I can't let you do that, bro. We don't. Well, foundation Black Americans, we don't say again, bro. You're talking about a space where these guys are retaliating. Okay, so you're comparing debates, like debate spaces, to the average thought of a foundation Black American, and I think that's very disingenuous.
So what's up? Can you give me the percentage of Africans that come over here and undermine Black Americans? Because from what I heard, you just talking about people that's in government official
right, the
jobs,
most powerful
like that.
position. Right. That matters the most, my boy. I wouldn't care about 100 Nigerians on social media talking about foundation
Can
Black
I say something on that?
Huh?
So would you agree Michael Langley is in a powerful position?
Yeah.
A position of power?
Yeah.
But his talking points is similar to the French that Ibrahim Traoré is undermining.
You're talking about a war official. Dude, what are you talking about? Okay, dude, this is not a regular guy looking for citizenship and trying to create a better life. This is a war general. It's speaking in terms of war. You know, like you kill me. That's totally different than somebody who just talking trash on the internet or in a position of power, undermining a people they don't have no knowledge of. That's totally different. We're talking about war. Like, okay, so when you talk about Burkina Bay, I'm sorry, when you talk about Burkina Faso in America or France, bro, all we know we don't know what's listen, bro. We don't know what's fact or fiction. All we know is that this media is saying this person saying that. We don't know what's fiction, factual. We just going on media, right? What's being said, what he's saying, what Putin is saying, what America is saying, politicians, what the French is saying. All we know is that it's a lot of political warfare. We don't know who's actually right or wrong. Like nothing has been disclosed to that degree. All right, so that's totally you're stretching it again.
So you're saying the majority of Africans is against Black Americans getting reparations?
Now, I don't even know.
Let me say this.
Let me answer this question real fast. I'm gonna go on mute for a second, and you guys can talk for a whole hour. But I wanted to say to Kwame, okay, I need you to watch our discussions back, bro. Watch them back. You keep saying the word all. I never said all. Kev 504 never said all. Bro, nobody's saying all. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying when Black immigrants come over here, the ones who I'm speaking to is not the yous, right? The you people, you. I'm talking about the ones who get in position of power to take power from us or parrot the talking points of white supremacists to justify the brutality or laws being coming into existence or laws taken out of existence. We're talking about that. The DJ academics that get on here and talk about old news and resurrect it to now is current news, the whole Chirac thing. We're talking about the Myron Gaines who are saying Black folks are just making excuses to be failures. We're talking about current guys with platforms with 1 million subscribers. They got the ear of Black Americans, by the way. Okay, we're not talking about Kwame. We're talking about people who are in powerful seats of media, the Shade Room. You dig? Q from Love and Hit, World Star. People who keep consistently portraying Black Americans in the same scope of systemic racism or scientific racism. So, like, where are the documentaries of these academics, Q, Shade Room, of Black folks being great? Where's the Black Wall Streets? Where are we fought in the Civil War, we overcame. Where are these things? Like, at least make it even. At least make it like you said, a balanced diet. At least provide some balance to it. Why is it always we're on the negative side of talking points? And again,
but are you saying that all academics do is promote Black degeneracy in America?
Yes. Bro, all of what he did, I don't know if you follow him or not, but I watch him. I follow him. I was a subscriber. Okay, all he did was talk about rat beefs this, beefs that, beef meals. Bro, just name, bro. Again, my ears in tune. All right, I don't know who you think I am, but I know.
So he don't uplift guys like Playboy Cardi.
Okay, no, yeah. Degeneracy, bro. Playboy Cardi is a fake thug, and he's a degenerate in behavior. So no, don't lift up a degenerate as though Black folks need to model ourselves after him or look up to him. No, don't uplift a degenerate. Okay, that's rapping on.
Okay, I can use. I can use. All right.
I mean, listen. You had your chance. You said Playboy Cardi. A guy raps about selling
but
drugs.
I didn't even finish. I was going to talk about.
It doesn't matter. Also covering. No, but look what he represents though. Degeneracy. He raps about drugs, uses, drug selling, murder, and all type of foolishness. And you're talking about uplift. Why would we uplift a fucking that guy? Why would we uplift him?
But he also platformed Tariq Nasheed for a 2-hour interview that I haven't seen any white media do coverage on to fully expound what FBA is.
Hey, bro, listen. That doesn't even that doesn't even it out, man. You can't do so much wickedness and then get one righteous thing on there and say, hey, we're even now. That's not how that works, my boy. I can't abuse. Look at Diddy, right? Isn't he on trial? It wasn't R. Kelly locked up, wasn't Bill Cosby. These guys can't be on record. Look at Deshaun Watson. These guys can't be on record for abusing hundreds of people. And then you name one person he did right by and say, hey, man, acquit him. No, dude.
But he's not undermining. I don't see academic undermining Diddy, or neither is Myron Gaines. They actually speaking up for Diddy.
But why? Yeah, that's the problem. Another degenerate. Why are we behind? Okay, bro. See, here's the problem. You're showing who you are, and it's a bad representative of Jamaica as a whole, and which Tiger people know. You're talking about siding with people who we actually think is guilty.
So you think Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking and RICO charges? Okay,
brother, there's a lot more he's being charged with. It's not those two things. What are you talking about, bro? He's charged with kidnapping.
Those are his three charges. Wait. I don't know any other charges.
No. You're not following. We don't trust your research. Okay, we know you're an idiot to this because if I question, you're not gonna know what's going on. Okay, first of all, you don't watch academics. Okay. Academics is actually covering this. Hey, brother, did he charged for kidnapping? Yes or no?
No, he's not charged for kidnapping. He's charged for RICO.
Okay. Now look,
sex trafficking and
Kev, this is a piece of shit lie because you know what RICO is. RICO is a bunch of charges coupled into one, and it's called a RICO. And part of that is kidnapping because he did when Cassie went to leave, you dumb Negro. He did beat her down, grab her by her head, and drag her back home. By definition, that's called kidnapping.
Kidnapping, yeah.
Of kidnapping, you liar.
He's not charged for kidnapping or gun charges that they found in his house.
That is wait. Okay, look. Okay, now chat. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get a little. I'm gonna crash a little bit. This dude is a buffoon and an idiot. So now, what I know about law is that you can go after something hard, right? And then when they feel that argument crumbling, they would go to a lesser charge like kidnapping, you dumb nigga. They do that. When they feel the RICO's crumbling, they'll drop that and then go to kidnapping and have the juror decide on a lesser charge like kidnapping. Okay.
Okay. I understand that, but he's not being charged for kidnapping.
No. Wait. First of all, that's on the table, and don't forget what I'm addressing. I'm addressing you saying they stuck up for a guy who's actually guilty of some criminal bullshit. So don't escape that. He did kidnap on video. So speaking
Tariq Nasheed is also speaking up for Diddy.
No, slow down. So speaking up for a kidnapper is more to my point, not yours. Okay, so now what he should have been doing is covering Tyree Nichols' case about how 3 black officers got off and brutally beat this guy down and got acquitted for state charges.
Right.
Now, that is something that impressed me. If these guys spoke on that, say, hey, man, look at this bullshit.
All 3 of the cops got off on that.
Yeah, so justifying a kidnapper isn't black culture, my boy. We don't respect or protect kidnappers at the very least. So you got
anything dealing with children or anybody or elderly people, we got no tolerance for it.
Right, or even beating up.
Diddy's not charged for touching no kids.
Yeah, I don't care what Diddy out there in Hollywood and live in a Hollywood world. That's an isolated incident. That's a drop in 41 million of us. That ain't even news to us. That ain't moving us at all.
Right.
That's just entertainment. Right? He put himself in that spot.
Yes.
Right.
But you embarrass yourself by saying they're sticking up for a guy who's actually guilty of some criminal offense. Why don't you defend people who are actually innocent? Like, for example, how about the black guy who got recently locked up? I don't know what he is. He could be Jamaican, African, or Black American. But the guy, the teams that I'm gonna do a live on this separately. The teams play some knocking. They claim a knocking joke at his door at 3 a.m. in a state where the castle doctor is in full effect. So they're kicking his door down, right? This ain't what we did, what we call ninja knocking. Like they're kicking his door down 3 a.m. at a state where you have the castle doctrine. I could come out blasting. So he come out blasting, he kills with him, and all of a sudden he's locked up for murder, and they're saying, oh no, they was playing a joke. Wait a minute. How does he know? Wait, you're kicking his door down violently at 3 a.m. When is that a joke? That's a threat. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the joke. I'm gonna sit here unarmed. Hey guys, what are you doing? Oh, it's the real thing, baby. Oh, let me get my gun. No, if you're kicking my door down at 3 a.m., I got the right to protect myself and my family with my gun. You're at my doorstep. It's the castle doctrine. But Kwame, he gets locked up for murder. Now, by the way, if the kids were black and the man was white or Chinese, that man would be seen as a hero defending his family against these ruthless thugs.
Right.
So speak on those stories, not R. Kelly or Bill Cosby or Deshaun Watson, these controversial Diddy thing. Speak on where we're completely innocent and we're still being railroaded, like the guy that defended his home or Tyrese Nichols' family. So we're saying speak on that stuff. I'm going to go on mute.
Yeah. You got to look at a book called Without Sanctuary, right? They got all the whole history and stuff like that, and it gets deep, and that's a lot of stuff that people that come to the country don't they don't get it, they don't feel it, and they don't realize how savage some of these people are when they would sell body parts and cut off ears and stuff and keep them as souvenir and fight over it and give it to their children. They came for that. That's savagery. That's them. That didn't change. That did not change. Right. That's savage. When you're cutting off, personal parts and stuff like that, and that's savage. They still like that. I'm down here. I know it. We still know what it was doing, hanging off the bridge. They still there. They didn't have a change of heart. Trust me. Right. You ain't see one Klan outfit turned in or something. They still have them. They still teach their kids that. Right? There's a certain group that does that. Right? And that ain't going nowhere. So a lot of people sit up here with, well, we needed 2025. Hey, those people don't change. They don't want to change. We got a lot of Germans down here. Strictly German. And so like one guy just asked me the other day, like, well, he's from West Coast. You're like, do they have a lot of I said, no, that stops with Louisiana and stuff. And immigrants really don't want to go to Mississippi and Alabama in those kind of woods. That's different. That's a different type of white folks, right? So they don't like you at all. They get a little bold when they got a little crowd, but that's what we've been on. The same thing like you've seen in Alabama at the dock. We've been waiting on that. And we've always been set from that since we was able to defend ourselves since the 70s. That's our thing. But this is what I wanted to tell you about, what I consider me personally a tether is. Academics, I'm just naming some people. Candace Owens.
What would make?
Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
I think a tether is someone who may undermine black, what we're trying to do. Undermine our stride to the things that MLK, X, Black Panthers, and black people marched and fought for. When they undermine our reparations, cash payments, and so on and so forth, and we can't even get a damn crime bill in. When they undermine those things, you're tethered to me. That's to me personally.
So undermining gay rights would be considered a tether too.
No, gay rights ain't had nothing to do with that. You know why? Because as long as gay, they're gonna be on. I'm talking about FBA and black folks, right?
What I'm trying to say,
if they undermine it and they're not from this country, they're tethered to me. If they undermine it from this country, you're just a sambo to me then, and you're not on the path. And it's not a bad thing. Hold on, let me finish telling you. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me just ask you one question. Let me just ask you one thing. Are you familiar with Bayard Rustin?
No.
Bayard Rustin is one of the leaders of the civil rights movement that fought for gay rights as a Black American.
Okay. So he falls under FBA?
And he's
covered. He's covered. We got FBA push politically. So he's covered.
No, he's a Black American. He's a Black American. He was the organizer. But if the organizer of the civil rights movement.
Hey, Kwame, listen, this is your problem, bro. Yeah, you don't know how to have a intellectual dialogue. So the brothers asked me very clearly, okay, by doing that, is he undermining FBA agendas? And you're not answering the question. You're trying to sidestep it. Okay. First of all, I'm Hey, Kwame.
Go ahead.
Listen, let me say, I'm gonna save you some time. Gay rights, there's no race attached to gay rights. It's a choice of lifestyle. Okay, so he ain't talking about a choice of lifestyle. He's talking about an ethnic group, a race of people who are being deprived because of their history in this country and their color. Okay, so he's not talking about choice.
What you doing, my brother, is you doing exactly what they do on the media. Right. They try to put LGBTQ stuff in our push for
he's doing that right
equality and reparations and stuff like that. When people do that, you undermining what we've been fighting for all these years. Right?
I'm just pointing out.
Hold on, let me finish. All right, I got you. You understand what I'm saying? So, but if he's black, he's covered under that. So anyway, so we fight for him too, whether he against it or not. Even the ones, the Sambos that are against reparations, that's from this country, that's FBAs, we're fighting for them too, whether they like it or not. But the ones that's trying to stop us, like the Caribbeans, like Candace Owens and stuff, and they'll tell you they don't think we should get it. And the reasons why they don't want their tax dollars to come. But you here because of us.
Okay.
Right? So you don't want to show no damn love? Okay, well, I paid taxes for 20 years. Okay, well, damn, that's rent. You can't show no love? You seen what we fought for? You seen us getting our behind, our ass bust on the street? That's how you got here. When they start letting the Europeans in, we say, well, hey, let some of them white Haitians in. I mean, black Haitians down here in. Why you beating them on the damn shores and you got all these Cubans in? Well, go ahead, so we try to make it like for everybody, but they come and they turn on us, but that's cool. So if you turn it on us or you feel like, then they'll tell you flat out. Even academics.
But that's not the majority. That's not the majority, brother. You talking about a small group.
Listen, when the Caribbeans that do that with big tax forms and microphones, you hurting our cause. So you just you're tethered to me. Right,
are you saying that academics is against reparation?
Yeah, I heard him talk about it. Yes, he said that. He had a show. 100%. Yes, I can't. I'm on my phone, so but I can tell you that.
No, Kev, I got him. I can. I clip everybody again. Kwame, unlike you, I'm a real researcher. So when I talk about, I know and I clip it. I got him. I played on my channel before. I played him already. I already played him, bro. I clipped that. Yes. He's a tether, 100%. Okay.
Well, when I heard him talking to Tariq Nasheed, I didn't hear him push back on reparations. I heard him support reparations.
Okay, no, because you don't even know what we're asking for and what he is saying that's different from us. Okay, that's another thing, bro. You've shown all of us are human, so we're gonna make mistakes in research. I do it all the time. Okay, but you do it more than you should. Okay, so now, before you make that claim, you got to say, hey, I don't really watch him that much, but from what I heard of, because he haven't really spoke of it too often, by the way. Now, Kwame, I try to warn you, I'm coming from a guy who used to watch academics all the time. On my channel, I bigged them up all the time. On my channel, Kev, I bigged up academics all the time. I said, watch them. So I get your time. A guy, a supporter.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a guy who's been watching him for the longest. Okay, I mean not super long, but for the last couple of years, I've been like, and I'm talking about like all of his lives. I was into that until he disrespected FBAs. I was done with him, and I unsubscribed, whatever. But he is. I got the live. I clipped it. I played it on my channel where he's against what we're doing for reparations. Yes.
What's the title of that video so I can check it out?
Okay, it's a video. It was a Fat Joe video. It was when Fat Joe was being called out.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, so he did. So you see how quick I can get you. Yeah, it's a Fat Joe live where he was when we were coming at Fat Joe for the N-word. He did a live on that. He spoke about FBAs and reparations very briefly. But I clipped it though. I got it. You don't got it, but I got it.
Okay. So are you familiar with the interview he did with?
Wait, and listen, I can go to the same people. Candace Owens against it too. She's a Caribbean. My thing with academics, her people. She's born here, but her people are.
She.
To my understanding.
No, she's both.
Half.
No, she's both.
Yeah,
she's SBA. She's SBA too.
Okay. All right. Cool. But even with academics. Okay, well, why when someone's like that or born here, whatever, but they got that Caribbean background, well, why you all in our business, bro?
Yeah, but
why you in black folks' business? Why you in FBA business like that? You made your whole career off that.
Kwame, so ask your question.
Talk about your people. Don't talk about ours.
Okay, I want to get the question out. So, what was your question about Tariq Nasheed and DJ Academics, Kwame?
Okay, I had watched that interview. He did a two-hour interview with Tariq Nasheed, and they went over a lot of topics, hip hop, reparations, the definition of FBA, and basically certain bullet points. And he was basically supporting reparations. So that's why I'm trying to.
No, he wasn't supporting reparations, and he definitely was not supporting. See, Kwame, yeah, bro, I don't know what's in your brain. I don't know what's depriving you for certain information. Hey, bro, reparations is, when people hear reparations, especially black folks, they think it's for everybody that's black. So of course you're like, yeah, I'm down with that. But he is not down for delineation because he spoke against it during the Fat Joe live. So dude, you gotta stop misinforming us. He was against delineation. So FBA is all about delineation. I'm sorry, reparations and FBA, but reparations is all about delineation, bro. No matter if you hear from
but Tariq laid that point out, and told him to his face that you're not eligible for reparations. He still supported it.
Okay. So watch this. So Kwame, you're in the pickle because then why did he come against it later during the Fat Joe live?
Well, I wasn't aware that. I'm ignorant to that point of view.
You don't got to be aware of it. I'm saying if you're for something in somebody's face and you're against it behind their back, yeah. Where your shooter? Downstairs. Okay, go get him. My mama said.
Well, if I was aware that, I wouldn't even bring it up.
No.
If I was aware that.
It's not about, so you trying to bring it back to you. Not about what you're aware of. I'm saying if somebody was for something while they're there in their face, and then when they leave, they're against it, are you really for it?
Probably not, or probably ambiguously. I don't know.
I don't know if that means I'm going to mute. Support, bro. I don't know how you support, but support. Going to mute.
Okay. Kaz. So who else who else is undermining Black Americans? Kaz, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was thinking about they got a congressman, the Republican black guy. I think his people, like first generation of Americans, regardless of their color, in my mind, if you're not on a team, or you know our history and stuff like that, and what we fought for, those same three things, and you against that, I don't care who you are, even if you are American. We just got to go around and just keep on pushing. And for those that came to this country like that, that's like, I pay my taxes. No, I don't believe that you're good. You pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Well, you sound like they do. Okay, so we still got to push for that and get some better representation for what we need. Right? We addressed everybody damn issue, but our own has been addressed since the damn 60s. We got the right to vote, and we got to integrate. That's it. Other than that, we ain't getting nothing else. With all the people, you could imagine how it was before they have body cams and stuff like that. That still goes on, even with cameras live. They beat the dude to death, shootings to death. So it's the same thing over and over. So okay, well, everything else, when the DEI, that's a distraction. Okay, we're not even benefiting from that. We coming last. The women coming, Latinos come before black women and getting jobs, even gay white men. Got white guys and stuff, and that kind of stuff. They always change the narrative when it comes to what we want. And our thing is the same three things: some kind of reparations, leave us alone, and maybe a crime bill. And then we can redo everything like we was doing before. We can generate our own business and stop cutting into our stuff, keeping us from growing. That was the government doing that the whole time. That's why we lost 97% of our damn farmers. That kind of stuff. So when people come in, they don't understand that, and they think we just lazy. Well, y'all had the opportunity all this time. No, they undercut everything. People know Black Wall Street. They don't know the other 21 other places all the way up into the 1970s that they destroyed. Mississippi Masala, stuff like that. That actually happened. Rosewood, that happened. Not including during Hurricane Katrina. They tried to flood out the lower ninth ward again. They do that. They did that in New York. They did that in Michigan. They flood out the black areas. That's nothing new. And y'all think, and if they, and you don't understand why we got a problem with you not even trying to help a nigga. Okay, well then,
I mean, you can't say.
I mean, what else is there? That's what we standing on.
You can't say everybody because there's
I ain't saying everybody. Nobody's saying everybody because they got black folks that don't believe in it too. So, but that to me, and then if you came here, then okay, well then that's our issue. Okay, and then we got people throwing that in, and we got people in powerful position and ALPAC controlling the. They don't even say that on regular news no more. That's controlled. Right, they don't say reparations no more. Right, they stop saying illegal immigrants. You know, and in the main news, and we know who control that. So a lot of these people I don't even respect because they ain't gonna ever push a black narrative. Now that they hear us, now that they had to come to online, now they hear the people's voices. Now you got a caucus up there now, a group of black, the sister with the bald head, starting a reparations thing. No. We already know what we want. See, they're trying to get in on that, so we got to do all of that because they come up with their narrative.
So
and we don't want we go get some educational grants and all that. No, we want some cash payments and some other residual, just like the Native Americans got. We need that too, and the FBA's got. Wait, listen to it. FBA's got black Americans that didn't get what red Americans got as far as reparations. Then they still getting it.
So essentially, regarding reparations, Caribbeans and Africans should mind their business regardless if they support it or don't support it.
Well, yeah, I got an issue with that. You know, that's my personal thing. Okay, well then I know people that don't believe in it. Y'all ain't gonna get that. Okay, well this is what we fought for. All right, what else you think King X, all of them fought for was the same thing. And now you bailing on that, and you getting your vote for what? You ain't getting nothing. Can we get something out the vote? Kamala gave Indian the country businesses $32 billion for their businesses. And open up the Freedmen's Bank, and the black farmers just got two, and they got to split it with immigrants. See, that kind of foolishness that the government doing all this, and that's what keeping us down. So that's what we on, man. So I don't care what the Nigerians say and all that, and you know the old dating relationships thing. Okay, well look, we on another mission. I got kids. My grandfather brought this in. My uncles had a Panther frame of mind. Black folks had the same frame of mind down here that you saw in Alabama on that dock. They don't you can vote a black person in the office as a mayor. They say now for generation we assign a mayor to your area. No, they just they locked the black dude out as a mayor in Alabama, Mississippi, I think it was. Right, and they had to, you know, because they put their cousin as mayor, no qualifications or nothing. We still got problems with Brett falling them with the water in Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson. They divert the good water up to them, and all those federal funds is because Mississippi is half black, half white now, right? But both sides in poverty. They got some broke ass white folks there, right? But the government is stealing the damn money. And right. You still don't see Brett Favre, all those governors, none of those people get arrested. That's what the white supremacy. Yeah, that put a foot on us. They still got to get the water.
But what does Brett Favre got to do with Caribbeans or Africans?
Well, nothing. I'm just saying that's how it is here in the South. That's what we working on. Right, and so when you undermine what our push is for that kind of equality, because we still down here in the South, a lot of black people here, man.
So what?
And then you got the West Coast.
What Caribbeans or Africans in Louisiana or Baton Rouge or New Orleans is undermining reparations for Black Americans?
Well, I'm just talking about people with platform. If people do that, no, I haven't come across people like that, but I have come across one. I didn't even bring that up. That's just one dude. That's anecdotal down here in Spots. because they don't have many people that's not from here. Unless you get down to Florida and you got some Cubans and some Haitians and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm not aware of no Haitians in Florida that's trying to undermine Black Americans.
Well, I'm not saying they are, man. I'm just saying the people that we have issues with. That's what's holding us up. That's what's holding us up for wherever they are. Whoever they are, whatever platform.
So are you?
If they're not with that, my question is simple. Even with white folks, do you agree with even my personal friends? You agree with that? Some of them agree with that. Blacks should get reparations. A couple of them don't. Well, then let me know where you at.
Right.
That means you limited. For some reason, you got a problem with it. Even though they're from here and you've been here, you've been around people, you know the history, you know the good, the bad, the ugly, because we the only two that got that kind of history together. Right? The FBAs and white folks for the most part. But you know that, y'all know that, and you still don't think you knew you profited from it all that. You knew even your good, with all the benefits that came with that off the free labor. We're in Louisiana, they still digging ditches and working in Home Depot with cheap labor for the prisoners, and y'all don't think we should get nothing?
Nah, I support reparations.
Right, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. That's what I had to tell them. So when they tell me that, they let me know a lot about them.
Yeah, I just think it's unfair if some French Africans or some French Caribbeans that's under white supremacy and they don't support reparation, that you should lambast the whole continent or a whole community from the islands as okay, we shouldn't. Yeah,
but if it look like they got a habit of it, and we got Africans coming over here for years, and now why are you talking about us? Why are you worried about us? That's what I don't get. If they got anything to say, not any one word about FBAs, why you worry about us? You have a whole homeland. I thought the traditional thing was to do, if you was an African, to come here, get a job, become a doctor, get your education, send your money back home so you build your homeland up.
Right.
Okay, that's it.
That should always be
why you worried about us? We're not worried about y'all. They're not even a second thought. I just explained to you what's on our mind. We can't worry about them.
So what about Black Americans that cheering on Michael Langley to steal African resources? You think that's right? Or should they just mind their business too on political issues that's going on in Africa or barbecue?
No, I think what is the general that's over there now taking control of the land and stuff in Africa and stuff like that? America need to leave that man alone. And they just put the general up there. And see, now that's the thing. Now they go try to do him like a Gaddafi, say he's a tyrant or go to some regime or some type of group that's on it. You go try to. We know how America rolls. We know how these people roll. They just got a black general up there, full stop. To start demonizing the man, and the man just want to he just want to produce and recycle his own gold and sell it himself. He don't need friends. More power to him. If he had a GoFundMe, I send him something.
Right. But
we always respect that. Same thing with apartheid. We respect that situation with Mandela. We all on that.
Right.
You got all that. Whenever they trying to get in the freedom, we support it 100%.
Right. But you got people like the African Union that dedicated the whole 2025 for reparation for the diaspora. I think Black Americans don't want no other people supporting them getting reparations. This is just their fight, and nobody else should have no input.
Well, our fight is lineage based. That's always been our fight. Nothing changed with us. Nothing changed. We always knew that. I'm a 70s baby. It was still that. 60s, it was that for black people, descendants of slaves, Jim Crow, the victims of this, that, hanging here, a shooting there, all that happened to us, that's all we was pushing for. Period. Y'all just came on. Y'all came along on the side on the other end, but our aim was always for that.
Generalizing. Who's y'all?
Well, okay, well, y'all as in other people then, man. You know, my bad. Yes, I don't need to dwell on words, but Asians, everybody else, they came on something else. They came in because of the fight we had. That's like coming in after the fight. Ain't
but why you including Asians and Hispanics as into the African diaspora or the continental Africa?
Well, I don't include them. I'm just talking about all that. I'm not talking about them as African diaspora. I'm just talking about the people that came in on the same dang on boat. You know, on the same situation. It benefited all of them. Then see, that's like when we get to the fact.
I don't see no Africans. The Fat Joseph, he's just speaking from a New York perspective. He's from New York, and this is
so New York is
a New York culture, huh?
A New York hip hop is a New York culture, and so you go. You see, this is my thing.
I mean, jazz is a Louisiana culture. It's born in Louisiana, right?
All right. Yeah, so, what we talking about? You think that they had a part of
a person from New York can't tell a person from Louisiana how jazz.
I got that. That's why I'm asking. You know more than I do. I'm asking.
Right. Well, like generally Louisiana jazz is a Louisiana culture. That's where it was born.
See, I'm not comfortable with them using the N-word.
I don't think a person from.
I'm not comfortable with them being that comfortable with that. You know, when I talk to people, dudes from the East Coast, I'm not comfortable with that.
But right? I think that's more acceptable a Puerto Rican that probably has some African ancestry versus
it doesn't matter.
California.
It doesn't matter. His lineage ain't like ours. Right? Ain't like we calling them wetbacks or banana boat or European white trash. Who use those things? Don't do that.
But I understand your sentiment, but that's just New York culture.
All right, yeah, I get it. You know, he understand that too. I've seen. I met him before. He come down here
I don't think he.
But see, but that don't work for the rest of the black folks at all. Right. I got a problem when Cardi B said something like that. I got a problem with that. You're Latino.
But she's Caribbean, or she got like Caribbean ancestry.
Right, but I don't. Yeah, but you're still a Latino.
So you saying that nobody from the Caribbean or Africa should say that the N-word, even though
I don't care if they're from Africa and Nigeria. No, they ain't for you, man. Because you're doing it. Wait. So even though Africa got places called Negro Land, Nigeria, and Niger, that all right, I understand the difference of when they're talking about their countryside and where they come from and stuff like that. But we know the difference, man. Let's not play games. No. So an African cannot call me that.
So
and I've been in a situation where I knew some New York dudes and stuff like that. That's cool. Okay. Well, that cuts me off guard, especially Latino, right? Saying that in the conversation, I was like, okay, well, and he telling me, I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm not your end. That might be your end. I don't do that. See, that's odd to me.
So basically, the N-word is just specifically for black people in America.
I don't play with it like that with nobody else.
No, I'm saying that
right. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Who said that? Jay-Z? Jay-Z said that and they make a difference. Hold on, because that's who started it with the A instead of the ER, saying that he was going to change it and take the word back. He said that on Oprah. Jay-Z don't mean nothing to the South. Nothing.
I mean,
they start doing that up there, man. We don't do that down here. It's still
you got to speak for your reason, because it's people in California. They'll tell you that. Yeah,
okay, that's on them. They do what they do. We don't do that down here. That's the problem. And see, and this is the other thing. I'm from the South, man. See, I can't hook up with a Latino of any type, dark or not, and like on a street tip and go ride and go do another FBA something. We ain't that cool. You see what I'm saying? In West Coast, they'll do that now. We don't do that down here.
Right. I mean, the
You won't
culture
see
in Louisiana is different.
No, we talk about the entire quarter of the country. They don't do that from Arkansas all the way to the Carolinas. We don't do that. That's where most of the FBAs come from.
People from the Carolinas don't do. People from the Carolinas don't
ride with other cultures of people to go do dirt on a black person. If so, it might be a sprinkle, but we don't do that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the N-word. I'm not talking about picking up.
Well, the N-word either, man. They don't really get down like that unless you get to Virginia. But you know, Virginia is a Navy area, so they might have a little melting pot that come down from there. And they do that. We don't do that. And I'm in New Orleans, man. I'm in a tourist spot. I met people from all over the world. I was a waiter before in the French Quarter. Every event from the 80s on up, Super Bowls, all that kind of stuff. Anything you can think of. Real Germans, real racists, whatever you can think of. And I even did the 5-star thing.
Now I've been to Louisiana. I've been to Monroe. I've been to Baton Rouge.
I used to work at Raw House Oyster Bar, right on Wall Street.
Right.
So that's how it is. So we don't do that at all. That might be your partner. I can only speak from a tri-state point of view or New York point of view. I can't really speak on the South perspective. I'm not from the South or California. I don't reside in those areas. Mm-hmm. But I understand your sentiment though. Yeah, you know, it's like we just kind of throwback. We haven't had that melting pot like that. Down here, we don't have that. We didn't grow up like the brothers in the West Coast and stuff, and them grew up, you know, with that kind of melting pot. And damn sure not the East Coast and stuff. And then especially the way y'all design, East Coast got so many high rises and stuff like that, and people packed in one area. Y'all live next door to each other. All right, well I can see that, but we don't do that down here. We own property. We got our own land and we got space and stuff like that. And then it's just pretty much black and white. So for the most, when you get through some of these southern states, and we got to worry about other shit, you know, other stuff like white folks still. Let me ask you a question. Do you think your ancestors descend from Africa? I think we were sold by Africans to white folks, and we landed in America, and we started everything here before there was a country. Okay, I can respect that. Right. I don't know. We're not stupid. I mean, all life came from that. I mean, people play that game, but we understand that. So when people ask me, and I'm a throwback with it, we should go back to Africa. Go back to Africa for what? I want to go back and visit the same people that captured my ass and beat my people and killed and deleted them in the first place and then sold me. I don't need to talk to them. So you rather be around the colonizer, the people that put you in chains? I'd rather be around my people that's here, that we got here together. We go start together and we go finish together, right? And we go grow together. Right, I respect that. 41 strong. If they wouldn't have had the deletions, we'll be 80 mil strong right now. I respect that. I mean, that's right. I can't disagree with your sentiment on that. Yeah, we ain't gonna knock them. I mean, that's cool, and because we're in a better position. We had to fight for it. That's why we welcome everybody to come over here. Everybody, but hold on, we ain't. Not all this, you know. That's why they lost. That's why they lost the thing. They lost the election because of the immigration issues. These people up here tripping, and that LGBT stuff, you know, with the bathrooms. And I raised a 13. I'm a single parent. I got a 13-year-old daughter I'm raising. Right, and I got 3 other kids. Shout out to her. Right, I ain't playing that, man. We're not doing that. And then they're trying to indoctrinate our children with the Q part. No, y'all got this shit. Y'all, we got this in elementary schools. and you got the flag up over the American flag, and that's one thing. Goddamn it, I'm American. I got to take that lick. Got to take that lick. Even when we go to wars and we know we did wrong, I'm still American. So, and one day if they retaliate, there's gonna be someone on our behind too, just like they had the terror situation. The situation for New Year's when the guy ran through the French Quarter on Bourbon and deleted about 13 people, ran over them, then jumped out with a firearm and then the police had to delete them. You know, so we got to take that.
My only pushback, or I think you should educate yourself because not all African people was in on the slave trade. Some groups like the Dahomey.
Of course not. That was just mainly ones on the coast, and that went up. That was able to get up there. Yeah, Africa is a big old country, a continent. A lot of people don't even know that happened. A lot of that history was erased for some. We get it. Yeah. We get it, but then when you don't know what we went through, you just came here and you saw a couple of pictures of MLK and Malcolm X, and we should overcome. They think that's they really don't.
But I think Africa has tried to reach out and try to correct the slave way more than America has for Black people. At least Africa has offered land and some sort of reparation for the transatlantic slave trade.
No, we don't want that. We want another mission. We still got this here to fight first, right? We got this here to fight, right? And I have some friends that been over, and some friends from Xavier that go to Xavier hosts a trip over there to South Africa every year, and you're starting to see that a lot of mayors, Black mayors, go over there from city to city, right? Atlanta mayors, New Orleans mayors, all that. For some reason, all the Black mayors meet up in South Africa for some reason, right? So they got a link. They're linking up one way or another. But the thing is, I just hope it's not political, okay? Because then that means somebody trying to buy something. Because we had Kamala went over there to 11 African countries and said, and pretty much was, with the help was denied if they didn't put something in the writing about LGBTQ protection. That's kind of foolishness, bro.
Yeah, I don't think you should be trying to push a certain type of culture that people don't agree with.
That's what they're about, though. Don't forget, that's old Montello ex, him and another chick. That they were living together, right? So that's their thing. That's their thing, and that's what they pushing hard. They ain't even thinking about Black folks. Right, and so we still got to get through that, and we can't even get some of these popular look.
So you pro conservative Republican?
Well, most Black people were raised conservative, because we were raised we were kind of raised in the church to some degree, but that is something. I mean, I'm conservative on some issues, like messing with our children, right?
But you do know, majority of the Republicans or conservative, they won't support reparations because they feel like it'll put the country in a depth that we probably can't crawl out of.
No, that's not what it is, because they know that one thing, they already know that they can't stand the fact that we may be successful on our own. That's why they destroyed all our land and businesses like they did. Then we the biggest spenders. Then we don't need them no more. Period.
So
that's why.
So you support Trump. You support Trump. Stance on the immigration and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got too many immigrants in there. 20 million, way too many, and they sopping up all the damn benefits too. And not only that, Latinos voted for them to get out. Every group voted for it out. I don't see why it's even a question for us. Period. Okay, our turnout was off the chain, but I didn't vote for him.
So, do you support Trump bringing in the white South Africans as citizens and giving them subsidized land and government grants?
No, not especially during these times now. But we already know what these white folks gonna do. When they elected, Trump said he was going to deport. He was only going to start with criminal illegals first. He said, I'm going to start with that. We know what he's saying. Right. Everybody got a problem. Everybody got expired visas, work visas, student visas, all that. He's trying to get rid of all that. He already putting out the Section 8 thing, 2 years. Leave it up to the state. We already know that. We know that because throughout our history, we already know that's what the Republicans was coming for. But we up here dilly-dallying around voting Democrat and ain't getting nothing. They won't even bring it up. None of our issues. So they actually Biden ran on raising the minimum wage. He ran on that and never brought it to the table because you got a lot of industries that make money off it too.
Right. So what you think the Republicans going to bring to the table as far as benefiting Black Americans?
Well, that's what we got to see. So that's what I'm holding my breath on right now. So the only issue I have with Trump moves right now, you can't mess with the Smithsonian in our history, man. All right, so we need not to mess with that at all.
You support the DEI and the Section 8, getting rid of Section 8 and leaving it up to the state and the school. I damn sure support not having DEI. Didn't support Black people. That just put us farther behind in the job market. But now it kind of gives these corporations like the right to deny people without no explanation. Like they could just deny you. Yeah, but they deny us, and we was denying our damn self anyway because by putting everybody else. Latinos was getting more jobs than us. Just got here. You got first generation of people up here standing strong. We're all up in Congress. Like we the people. Like hold on, baby, you just born. Maybe they should have just maybe the DI could have been tweaked to get maybe they need to go back to the Constitution and redo that 14th Amendment and make sure it was clear that it was meant for Black people. What, the 14th Amendment? You're right. That's how they start coming here like that. I don't think they should get rid of the 14th Amendment because it kind of made Black people. It made Black people. That is understand, but see, we have a problem with not putting anything in and putting Black, our lineage on paper, and it wind up being minority, and minority is everybody. We didn't get out there. But you do know prior to the 14th. But you do know prior to the 14th Amendment, like Black Americans wasn't even citizens. So right, and then we became that. You had to have property. Under that, you know? but under the 14th Amendment. So I don't think the 14th Amendment should be tweaked because it kind of gives Black American citizenship too. If you understand what I'm saying. So we could do this by lineage. Easy to track. They got a whole lot of ledgers that exist to this day. In Bassfield, outside of Harrisburg, Mississippi, we could point to where the land that my people worked at. Right. We can point to that. So wouldn't that jeopardize the people that's half FBA, half Caribbean, half FBA? Well, they had, but you also have. I don't know about Caribbean, but you also have Creole and stuff like that. But they've been here too. That's the French. Under that notion, like not giving naturalized birthright citizenship, like people like Malcolm X wouldn't be a citizen because his mother's from the Caribbean. No, you're talking about Elijah Muhammad. No, I'm talking about Malcolm X. But his mother's not. One of his family members was an FBA though. Yeah. But his mother's not.
He's in there, so we can go back and forth. If your people, one of your people was from here, you're from here. You in there. We can go by lineage.
No, I'm not talking about as far as lineage. I'm talking about as far as birthright citizenship. Like that wouldn't make Malcolm X a citizen.
Well, we just start to see how they write it out then.
If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It really doesn't matter to me though. It doesn't matter if Malcolm X was. It doesn't matter if Elijah. It matters what my people are.
Right.
Some people ain't gonna get it.
Are you talking about reparations, or you talking about citizenship?
But that's not a reason. That's not a reason to shoot down the whole movement. Well, I ain't getting it, so you're against it? You know, that kind of thing. Some people ain't gonna get it. Some people have problems with proving it, but for the masses, we'll be straight.
Right.
Right. You see,
I don't really gotta.
We got people out there protesting Target and stuff like that. You never see them say, well, go to such and such black business. You don't see none of them doing that. Promoting anything like that or the area or any kind of business is going. You don't see them doing that. They're not programmed for that. They don't get paid for that. That's why some of our people control.
Right.
So is it, Jill Stein,
my only
Anderson,
thing, my only thing,
Cornell West.
My only thing with as far as like the DEI and the birthright citizenship, because to me it sounds like Trump and his cabinet is trying to undermine the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Because in a sense,
we knew he was going to do that. We knew that. We knew that. What you think he's looking at? Muslim lady out there. You up there giving these people, you giving these white folks a hard time. Yeah, and then you marry your brother and bringing them in, and you trying to bust it wide open for it. Nah, we want all y'all going. That's what he was saying.
Right.
And he made it a state of emergency. We knew that.
Right. I don't really got.
You know what? When we experienced it, we experienced during the crack that era there in the 90s, the 89 and 90s. When they put that federal law out there, everybody was gone. Everything was a felony. And then they put out incentives and bonuses that you can get, and for a felony arrest, a half a doogie was a year in prison, like you was a dealer. If they found one piece of marijuana, in the car, and you had 3 dudes in there, that's 3 felony arrests. That was in New Orleans.
Oh, let me ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
You can ask the chat one question. Brian Robinson, what am I hating on? What did you hear me hate on? Anybody in the chat, can you tell me what exactly am I hating? Because I see everybody you hating. What am I hating on? What did I say that's hating or undermining anything the brother's talking about? If I don't agree with Trump rhetoric, that's just me. I'm not undermining FBA. I don't think you should undermine the Civil Rights Act or the 14th Amendment. That's just me. The 14th Amendment granted Black American citizenship in America, and it also granted Black people to be naturalized citizen under the 14th Amendment. If you disagree with that, that's on you, brother. That's just me. I don't agree with Trump policies on those things. I agree with certain things he said, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the alphabet community. I don't agree with certain things like that. That's just me. So if I'm hating on Trump, or that don't mean I'm hating on FBA because I don't agree with Trump taking away DEI or certain programs that could benefit Black people that now put it in the hands of these racist white people, that now they could deny black people food, services, or jobs with no explanation, or deny black people being citizens of this country. So if you disagree with that, that's on you, brother. I'm not hating on nobody. What scared taxes? Kev is agreeing with what I'm saying. He don't agree that Trump should dismantle the Smithsonian, right, Kev? Kev, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Yeah, do you agree with Trump dismantling the Smithsonian and basically saying slavery, Jim Crow, and these stuff was improper ideology as he stated? That's what he said, not me. That's why he wouldn't get rid of the Smithsonian. He believed that America wasn't built on slavery and Jim Crow and racism. That's his rhetoric. That's why he wanted to dismantle the Smithsonian to get rid of Black history and show that them
go do that too.
Yeah, so if you're gonna disagree with me, then you gotta disagree with Kev. Kev don't agree with.
I don't have to agree with you on everything. I disagree with you on everything. You could be right sometimes.
Yeah, I don't get.
They got dirty ass dudes on both sides. You know what? And listen, I'm gonna give you a prime example. You remember the big old ordeal with putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill? Now the Democrats bringing up, when is that gonna be on the $20 bill? Why y'all ain't put it on the $20 bill? Biden just left office. Me and my brother got hit with the crime bill.
But I think what separate Biden from
hold on, man. That's why I don't separate none of them with that dumb stuff, because both of them, he didn't harm us already. Right? That took a hit. My brother was one of the ones who got 25 years. And then it was giving people 25 years because he had to have one violent crime. He just went for hustling. That's 3 times. And they was throwing them in there for that. So, and I went to the juvenile system. And I'm living in an area where they got a lot of white folks, so I had to jump on. We had to fight them when we was in school. I got 13 years old. I got put in the juvenile system, and I heard y'all say something before, I almost got juvenile life. If I'd have gotten more trouble.
Yeah. I was speaking about juvenile life, yeah.
Right. So, so what they put in, if you ain't commit a crime, they put you in a child in need of supervision, right? Went to 4 different places. And they will tell you, and I'm around these old Southern-ass white folks, they know that's going to hamper your ability to learn. And then that your eyes are coming back to the jail are better. So they were just grooming it for the next generation. And that was a set plan by the state.
Even now that he passing the executive order that basically give cops their immunity, they won't even be charged for doing some heinous crime, and also pass another executive order basically trying to, if you a cop killer, basically, you get executed. You feel me? So I feel sorry for the brother that defended his son after the cops gunned his son down, and we still haven't seen the gun on camera, on the police body camera, or anything like that. I think he justified.
I have some brother that crashed out. Just like the brother in Baton Rouge got sick of watching that stuff on TV. The way it was just people being treated, and he crashed out. And
you talking about Micah?
Right. You
talking about brother Micah? You talking about brother Micah?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot the name. They got so many of them, man. We can't even keep up with all the names.
You talking about the dude with the dashiki on that I think he had gunned down like 3-4 cops or something like that.
Right, running through the parking lot or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, he was on all black or something like that. But they're going to have people that do that. And see, America know that we have that kind of temperament in us to be like that. They don't really want our trouble, period. They really don't want that kind of trouble. Ask them what happened in Oakland.
What scare tactic? What scare tactics are you talking about, brother? These are policies that you could read or pull up in the newspaper, brother. Nobody using those scare tactics. Trump is dismantling the Smithsonian. He just got rid of Section 8 and put that in the hands of state with the school system too. That's not scare tactics. That's Trump executive orders, brother. So I don't know what scare tactics you're talking about. I'm not trying to scare black people to thinking that white people is racist. White people are racist.
They're going to scare us with that anyway, because you know what? We know we're going to have to adjust. We already know how to get down with them. We know we're going to have some adjustments to make, right? Hopefully the adjustments we make work out for the better. Now, the only problem is the Section 8 thing and leaving it to the states. Some states can be wicked with it. Sometimes it may work for a good thing. Some black folks who's like, you can't, it's not for generations. And being from New Orleans, I'm gonna say this, man. Look, and like once they opened up New Orleans after Katrina and stuff like that, they locked off the projects. There had people out there protesting and banging on the, trying to tear down the fence, trying to get back in the project, and saying stuff like, we've been here like two, 3 generations. This our home. That kind of thing is not what it's meant for us. So they go give them 2 years. I wish it was 4 years. And they leave it to the states, and we don't know how good. Our state is only good as the leader, the person who's running it. So that's gonna be up in the air.
Right.
Right. That's gonna be up in the air. I mean, you got a whole lot of white folks that's gonna get messed up in that. I can tell you that down in Alabama and stuff, Mississippi, they got white people. They broke. They poor. Right? We like to think of black folks as the leader of the recipients of that stuff, but they get welfare. We don't really get that like that.
Right.
Now
but what it do, it kind of give the state the opportunity to help who they want to help.
Let me tell you something about that Section 8. I have a partner of mine, right? And I used to work for UPS. I was a UPS driver, right, in New Orleans, right? And one of my friends, him and his old lady had a kid, right? So he bought the house. He went on Section 8, went to school, they had another kid, finished nursing. Section 8 was paying the mortgage. Then when the kids were grown and everything, got married, then put the deposit down. The house had been doubled in value, and then put the deposit on another house, bigger house. You can make that stuff work for you.
Right.
That's the point. You got to make it work for you. So they're gonna have to people gonna have to really think about that, how to make that work for them right now. And that's the thing. So it's gonna be a problem, because what is gonna happen is they're gonna plaster a whole lot of black homeless women and children. That's what they're gonna do. That's gonna be all over the news.
Yeah. Well, I would say
they're gonna try to use that to get black people riled up. To act a fool and to get out there and protest and take the streets and stuff like that, and I don't think that's gonna work either. They've been trying everything, but the only thing that's gonna move us, especially with the voting block, as far as my opinion, is what you gonna do for black people. Same thing in New Orleans. We got a history of black mayors, 40, 50 years or more black mayors, and we don't have one black business down in the CBD in the French Quarter. Everything on Canal Street is owned by Indians or Arabs. And then the white folks, they own the French Quarter. That's old white money, right? We don't have nothing down there. We couldn't even put my suggestion is, can we put a tax in, a tax for reparations and stuff, and let them pay it? But no, they're going to put a state tax in, a luxury tax, a liquor tax. You're going to do all that. You could have did something for us.
Right. Do you see any policies? Do you see any policies that Trump is putting forward that's going to benefit black people yet?
No, not yet. That's not directly. There's only one way. We need one thing directly. Now, you might give some more to the HBCU schools, or we'll take that. Appreciate it. Our kids still need that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's just a new thing because we just now getting on our second generation, and some families, first generation is going to HB, getting to go to college.
Right. Me personally, I think the FBA rhetoric of delineating from the black diaspora or the continental African is not going to be.
And here's my thing again, though. Why you go come in? Why would you come in? Why would the one that who do this? I know it ain't everybody. Why would you come in here? Worried about us undermining us? Important.
I mean, you talking about a few. You talking about a few people.
We already know we got issues. We know they did a number on us. Why y'all worried about it? Worry about your homeland. We don't understand that. Down and I'm in the South, people tell you, mind your business. Well, why are you doing this? Well, why you ain't minding your damn business? Your business was to come here, get an education, and say we doing better than that. Okay, you don't really know our history, all right? But we ain't got productive people. Like 80% of black people are not in the middle class. Like we ain't but $10,000 behind the average white man.
You say 80% of black people's in the middle class in America?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Depending on the area, because think what is you single? If you look up what is middle class in America, 30,000. Single
30,000 not considered middle class.
Let me finish. There ain't nothing in Chicago, but that is good in Louisiana, Mississippi.
30,000.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even if you go up to 45,000, but you do have a nice summer paper, which I'm just saying most black people, for the most part, I need to get hung up on numbers, are in the middle class. But what they show is
if you talk about as far as like living,
the point is they come over here judging us by what they see on television.
But you're talking about a small population. You're not talking about the mass majority of black people that's coming from Africa.
No, I'm talking about black people. Black people doing all right, man. I'm talking about black people.
But black people from Africa is not coming to. But black people from Africa is not. Majority of the black people that's coming from Africa or the Caribbean is not undermining black people in America.
Well, all right. I got you. Make sure you get that in there. I feel you on that. I'm saying it too broad. Right. But for those that do.
Yeah, it kind of works. It works both ways because you got black people. You got black people right now in the chat. They'll tell you that Africans is poor. They live in mud huts. They got bones through their nose.
Yeah, we know that. We've seen that all our lives.
But I'm saying though that it wouldn't be fair if Caribbeans or Africans look at just base their opinion based on this chat room or any FBA quote unquote talking space that undermine Caribbeans or Africans.
Yeah, but I mean what they're saying don't really matter to us. I don't understand why they're talking about us. We trying to get work done. That's what I don't get. For those that do, why you can't even link up with us on that kind of level?
But those people that do,
we not in their business. None of them.
Yeah, but
Latinos, we not in the Mexicans, our Salvadorian business.
But brother, you can't include
nobody's business but our own.
Yeah, but you can't include the Hispanic talking points with Africans or the Caribbean, brother. That's very disingenuous because nobody from the Caribbean is linking with no Mexicans or El Salvadorians or things like that.
Anybody that came to the country.
Okay,
now,
so you just talking about
when I was telling you earlier on, being Jamaican. Well, we ain't got no problem with you, man. We ain't got no problem with no Jamaicans ever.
Yeah, now,
I don't know what the whole diaspora mean. I mean, with the Cubans, I know they have some issue with the Cubans down there in Florida. I don't know, you know, what it is up there in the East Coast and stuff like that, because we kind of blind in that. We only got that big melting pot down in Texas, and you know they got a big population of Mexicans down there. Ain't nothing really spark off yet. You can always tell what's gonna happen by the jail system, like that Tory Lanez thing. You go see how much with the black and brown people thing is. I don't understand who the hell brown people are.
That's more like a California talking point, like black and brown pride and all that.
They're trying to say Hispanics and Latinos. So we didn't march and get out here and suffer and fight like that for no damn Latinos and stuff. We ain't get hit with bricks for them. I'm telling them that. Let them know that now. They ain't help. And that's true. None of them even said, thank you, I appreciate the shit.
That's true. I think y'all fight more.
Some Latinos, and we only going by internet world, you know, YouTube and stuff like that. Now you got some Latinos trying to tell people, educate some other Latinos. You can't ask black folks for this and trying to educate them on the history of black folks. But for the most part, they raised like that. They raised by liking dark people.
Yeah, that's a Hispanic talking point. Let me just respond to somebody real quick. Donnie Williams, what is a worldwide talking point? Give me some prevalent African leaders or Africans on the continent that's talking about undermining black people in America. Because you said this is a worldwide talking point. Give me 3 Jamaicans or 3 Haitians that's undermining black people, talking about that's in Jamaica or Haiti that say black people in America shouldn't get reparations or things like that. This is a worldwide talking point.
Let me ask you a question, my brother. Hey, did you go back to the Caribbean?
Yeah.
And visit? All right. Good.
Yeah.
At least you go back. That's good, man. Because you got.
Yeah, I got a house in. Yeah, I got a house in Jamaica and a house in New York. So I fly. I go back and forth.
And that's what I suggest people do. See, to me, y'all blessed. You got 2 homelands. I mean, you got 2 places to go. At least you got a homeland that you could take pride in. We had to start ours from here, from the mud on up, and so we got to take the complete pride in what we got and what we fought for. That's a big ass thing. Now, see, I like Jamaica. I've been, been to Cozumel and I've been to Kingston and stuff like that. I've been to Jamaica 3 times, and usually when I go to Jamaica, just like my frame of mind is, it's for black folks. I'm not Jamaican, and I don't think they FBAs, but I can still respect their culture. When I go,
the times you went to Jamaica, did any Jamaicans undermine you or practice any xenophobia?
No, I ain't never heard no Jamaican do that. I told you I ain't never heard no Jamaican doing that. Ever. Not even the ones that live in New Orleans and got partners that Jamaican. Never. They ain't got no issue. But the thing is, they don't say, they ain't got nothing negative to say about our culture or our struggles either. But so when you got other people that get in that, y'all was never like that.
Yeah, so I don't understand when people say that.
So when we talk about Caribbeans, well, some Caribbeans like that. They got Cubans and stuff like that, and they don't like niggas. They don't like dark people.
Yeah, that's Cuba though.
They don't like dark people of their own kind. So why?
Yeah, that's Cuba.
So I'm not on the Caribbean, like, ain't no thing. And just ain't. If they got a problem with me or my people, I got a problem with them. That's it. Or they just get looked around and walked over or ignored. They mean nothing in what we trying to get done. And if they can't respect it, then F them, we can't worry about that, man.
Right. And Donnie Way, if you heard me say that FBA shouldn't get shit, you're probably referring to when people are talking about FBA should take African resources or things like that. I don't believe no FBA should be taking no African resources. Even though the transatlantic slave trade happened, the mass majority of Africans wasn't involved in the slave trade. You had certain groups that was involved in the slave trade, yes. But you also had Black Americans in America that enslaved other Black people in the North or Florida or certain areas. But no, I don't agree with FBA should be taking African resources as reparations before they take it to the Anglo-Saxons or the American government that put Black Americans in chains or made them sharecroppers or redline them or lynch them.
It's more than slavery, right? It's more than slavery, right? Because even if you just started out, this reparations should be after slavery ended. They got enough stuff for reparations for Black people that shit they done done. That they've done.
Yeah, so if you're referring to when I said that, then yes, I would say that I would reiterate my point again. No black people, no Jamaican people should be getting no resources out of Africa before they get reparations from the British government, the American government, the French government, the Spanish government, the Portuguese government, or the Dutch government, or any other white European nation that benefited generations off the backs of slavery. So that if you're referring to that, then I fully support Black people getting reparations in America, whether I get it or not. That's not my fight. I support it. I support reparations. I want to see all Black people get reparations. So I support Black America getting reparations. I don't agree with people talking about Michael Langley should be taking the resource out of Africa, because that'll be reparations for Black people in America. I don't agree with that. So I don't if that's what you're talking about, I would say that I don't think Black people in America or the diaspora should be taking resources, gold, lithium, or any precious resources out of Africa as reparations.
All right, I think one of Africa's biggest issues now is protecting what that is, guys, again, the General Tory. Yeah, he need to be protected because they're coming after him.
Yeah,
they definitely coming after him, and then judging by what the general said, the United States, they go put they put the old Black general up there, and now they
Or if you're talking about delineation, Donnie, I don't agree with that because I'm a Pan-African. So, no, I don't agree with Black Americans should delineate from Africa or the diaspora and basically delineate. I don't agree with that because I'm a Pan-African. That's my stance, and that's all Pan-African stance. Whether they're Black American, diaspora, or continental Africans, no Pan-African would agree with anybody delineating from Africa or the soul of being Black as a whole. You don't see Trump delineating America from white people. He's rolling out the red carpet for white South Africans to get citizenship, land, and government grants before he give it to the people that was enslaved in this country, or the people that came here legally through other refugee status or immigration thing organization. He's denying them while literally rolling out the red carpet for some racist apartheid South Africans that was brutally murdering and taking all the resources out of South Africa, and now rolling out the red carpet, and they plan on bringing in 500,000 white South Africans. That's more than the whole population of Nigerians in America. That's half of the population of Jamaicans that's in this country.
That's the racist ones too. That's the most German ass South Africans.
Yeah,
that's the racist ones.
And they're talking about they're being attacked and brutalized, and they should get citizenship in America. I can't speak because I'm just a citizen of America. I wasn't born here. I don't have ancestors going back to 1860 or whatever census record. But I could just speak for me. I don't agree with Trump rolling out the red carpet for white South Africans before he roll out the carpet for Black Americans and give them government grants or subsidized land for farming or things like that.
And we don't need to know. We don't. But see, that's the way, what how election rolls. What America gave him the power to do it. So he doing it.
right? And then we got a judicial system and Supreme Court and stuff like that, but it is what it is. That's like the same thing with deporting old boys from MS-13. You know, and them people not playing. We knew he was going to do that. Now you got some people around that's going to help him skirt around the law, and he's going to try to push the Supreme Court and change some things, and we already know what's
going on.
But
hey, that's their problem. I'm not Hispanics. I don't. You feel me? That's their problem. If they MS-13 or 18th Street or whatever Latin gang and they voted for Trump because they hate black people and they want to see black people undermining this country, hey, that's on them. Trump don't like anybody that's not white. So that if you wanted to vote for Trump and support his policies on immigration, and now your people caught up in that mess, that's on y'all Hispanics. I don't.
Yeah,
that's not my fight. My fight is for black people universally, no matter where they're at.
It's not like we all jocked out behind Trump either. We got to keep our eye on his ass too. We ain't saying either one of them good. We just saying we want some results for our vote, and we keeping our eye out on who doing what, right? And it don't look good on the Democratic side, and we just waiting for somebody with a voice.
Well, I think it's worse on the Republicans. I think it's worse on the Republican side.
Why?
You said why?
Do you think it's worse for black people on the Republican side?
Yeah, I think it's worse.
All right, let's say right now it's just illegal immigration and nothing else really passes for black people. Nothing else really. The economy stays the way it is. How's that bad for black people?
I think going after the
because you still got the immigration issue. That's a good thing for black people, in my opinion. Getting rid of a lot of the illegal immigrants, that's a good thing for black people. Because, I mean, you saw the news, man. You seen them storming, even though the governors from Florida and Texas sent them up there, they're not going to play that shit down here. They sent them up there to New York and Chicago. There are a few dudes that want to embrace equity, inclusion, and diversity, minority, and all that good old-fashioned stuff other than black folks stuff. And that's what you see with how it goes. They're not gonna leave. They're not gonna stay down here. They ain't gonna keep them down here. And we ain't got no problem with that.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta pick the lesser of the two evils. You feel me?
The lesser of the two evils, they're gonna be good and bad on both sides. You just got to make sure they ain't messing over us.
Yeah,
right.
But as far as
we looking for, when you're saying we the people are these areas that we get our voting block on, just what we want. This what we asking for. Not for everybody in black and brown. I ain't about that black and brown stuff. I know.
Yeah, but at least the Democrats at least entertain the idea of reparations. The Republicans, I don't even think they'll even entertain that idea.
They just started saying that. And why you think they're saying that? You know what they're gonna do? They had that. That's been out there since the 70s and 80s. All they're doing is getting some sisters to try to reopen it and try to get our votes again. If voting for reparations go through Democrats and it comes with all that immigration of 20 million damn illegal immigrants, I don't want it. Something wrong with it. And they're talking about giving vouchers and money to school. No, we need cash payments. We're talking about cash, like the Indians got, natives. And everybody else did. We need something to open the doors to start our own businesses so we can get that going again. That's what they sabotage, all our businesses. Then you got people coming in thinking we lazy. No, we worked everything. My grandpa and them was a farmer. That's where the money was.
Right.
We knew how to farm. After we got freed and everything, the first thing we did was start farming and making money, and then they start hitting our land, the banks and stuff like that. You got illiterate black slaves coming out there, and you got people just running the game on them all the time.
Right.
Up until this day. That hadn't stopped. Nothing has stopped. Every major institution, almost every last one of them, the banking system, that's all for us. all the way up until now. In 2012, I mean, when Obama was in office, he had them plead guilty. Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, and another couple of banks, 4 or 5 of them, big banks, that they was targeting certain areas and redlining them and charging them more interest rates on car loans and shit. And home loans.
Let me just reply to somebody in the chat real quick. Donnie, if you feel like Pan-African is a scam, then hey, global white supremacy is working for white people. So if you think Pan-African is a scam that has been working and benefiting black people as a whole, as far as Africana studies, giving black people scholarships in developing certain economic forces, hey, that's on you, brother. Pan-African has been working for over 100 years, from Martin Delaney, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Ture, a.k.a. Stokely Carmichael, all the way up to Umar Johnson and other reputables on the continent or in America. And, hey, you may disagree with Nkrumah. Nkrumah is a Pan-African organization that's been fighting for reparations. So if you disagree and so on, like the African Union that's centered around being Pan-Africanists and they dedicated the whole 2025 for reparations for the diaspora and taking it to the highest court in the world, the United Nations. If you disagree with that's on you. Pan-Africanism has been working for me and other people for the last 100 years. So if you disagree with that, hey, that's on you. Pan-African has influence other African countries. You could look at their flag with the red, black, and green in it. If you disagree, Pan-African been a scam, that's on you, brother. There's multitude of things you can see with how Pan-African has benefited black people in America, the diaspora, or in the continent. You could look at Ibrahim Traoré, a self-proclaimed Pan-Africanist in Mali, Niger, and these other countries that's working under the guise of Pan-Africanism. They're putting their religion, their tribes aside and putting Pan-African as the focal point of their movement. If you disagree with that and you think it's a scam, hey, that's on you. If you want to be economically embargoed in America and delineate from Africa, I don't know if America got lithium deposits underneath the soil. I don't know if America got large gold deposits. I don't even know if America got large oil deposits. So if you want to economically embargo yourself in America, where you could only grow rice, cotton, and things like that, and delineate from Africa, hey, that's on you. Hopefully it works for you and your family. I know Pan-African is working. I see black people going back to Africa, opening their old mining business and different industries, and it's working perfectly fine for them. So, hey, if it don't work for you, hey, that's on you. My fault, brother. I ain't mean to cut your bill, Kev.
No, I was just saying. I mean, you Caribbean. I mean, with your Caribbean background, you think you'd be welcome in all the countries in Africa? Because some of them don't like you, man.
I mean,
we know some of we know a lot of Africans that don't like us because not only that, we the West and we the rich kids. So I know that. They make it known.
I mean, everybody got,
and as far as they consider, whatever they consider, what they consider slaves, just like the Indian lady, they did the recording and everything, saying and stuff like that. What they'll do, they think of us as slaves. That's beneath.
I mean, that's you're talking about India. You're not talking about Africa. I know. Yeah,
but I'm also talking about African too. They think of us as slaves. That's beneath them, and people to have that different mindset.
Are you generalizing again? Because I'm
only generalizing. I'm just thinking. I think of us as slaves. I think that's true, and that's just my own personal opinion.
So I mean, is Black Americans that have whole communities in Ghana, Nigeria. They have businesses. I know a lady right now that's in Libya. She has her own gold mine where she hire African people to dig for different minerals, and she's benefiting fine. She went there with a couple dollars and was able to open her own mining business. She's doing perfectly fine. I know people that's in Kenya that got different organizations and businesses, they do perfectly fine. It's Black Americans South Africa with different businesses, and they doing fine.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I didn't know that. All right, that's good that they're doing. All right, that's why we have the internet, and that's why we talk it. We can chop it up.
Yeah, so I see it working. Maybe it's certain people.
Let me ask you this: which countries do you think in Africa are not Black FBA friendly?
In Africa, I would say majority of the Arab run countries like the Moroccos, the Tunisia, the Egypts. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say East Africa, because you got for instance, Haile Selassie, he gave the diaspora a whole community called Shashamane, where it's a bunch of FBAs and Jamaicans or Africa, and basically do it.
Well, I get what you're saying on that. You know, and at the same time, I just don't have a desire to go. Right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody don't got to go.
Now, don't give me.
All right, family. So that was revenue, obviously took it on him, but that was revenue in his early days. Okay, so that was revenue pre-Tariq Nasheed. By that time, he hasn't called into Tariq Nasheed's podcast, you know, or Twitter or whatever he was doing. TikTok, he wasn't doing it at that point. All right, so our core talking point as FBA's delineated is reparations and delineation. These are irrefutable, indisputable talking points. They're needed, period. So you have a lot of tethers, as you can see, revenue. And you got a lot of Pan-Africans who oppose our two major talking points for their selfish reasons. Now, they will pretend that it's something else. They'll pretend it's Tariq Nasheed. They will pretend, oh, reparations ain't going to happen. That's why we're opposing you. They will pretend, oh, it's Yvette Carnell or whatever. She's Democrat. Like, this is all their justifications to be against our two major talking points. Oh, delineation, oh, you're being divisive. Oh, you're shitting on Africans. Yo, why do every Pan-African booty scratcher, why do every last one of them, when they assess our delineation movement, they all look at it as one-sided? We're pooping on tethers. They conveniently don't see tethers pooping on us. They conveniently only see it one way. Okay, so, but our two core talking points are undefeated. Now, and nobody can do anything about it. You see all these call-ins I play every morning, and when I'm gonna cook somebody on my show, nobody can stand up against our major talking point. Now, so last night I was talking to Rob Bourne, right? He called in Alan Brown. He called in. I had no idea what he wanted to talk about. There was no particular subject. He just was giving me some history or free blacks, whatever. And if I found out something I didn't think was true, I chimed in, right? But there's no argument, like there's no topic. So I'm trying to see when he's gonna get to delineation. So he went on reparations a little bit, and started asking about reparations. So some things I didn't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not a reparationist. I support it. I'm an advocate, but I'm not a front runner. Like, I don't. Like, my research is, and my talking points are towards delineation, not reparations. Even though I'm an advocate, so there's some stuff I will know when it comes to reparations. Some things I won't know. But delineation, I believe, like, I know what I need to know. So he asked he's trying to ask gotcha questions. So let me just go over. So we're gonna do a recap on the bill last night. So I made it private because I didn't want people cherry picking the video, making sound bites and clips because we know they're losers. So, but when he did touch on delineation, he had no rebuttal for nothing. He dared, like he reluctantly admitted that Africans were largely responsible for the transatlantic slave trade. A lot of these Pan-African booty scratchers don't like to admit that. So I forced his hand where he had to like admit, and then of course they like to minimize it. Oh nah, it comes down to just one king. The rest of South Africa, the rest of the West Africans, we're not selling nobody. And then another point, oh, what they were selling, the rule was they was to sell other tribes. Like that's cool. And then he tried to compare that to the crack game. I'm like, yo, that's a bad faith analogy. You can't compare in no way, shape, form the transatlantic slave trade to the crack game. So now these are supposedly men on my level when it comes to information. How can you dare put the transatlantic slave trade and the crack game in the same sentence? So I try to stop him to not do that. I said, oh, don't do that, don't do that. I'm trying to save his reputation online, his credibility, his integrity. Like, yo, don't disrespect the ancestors, the trade itself, or that false equivalent comparison. But he did it anyway. It was really ridiculous. It was idiotic, to be honest. All right. So we talked about free blacks. So then he was trying to make the argument that free blacks were identifying themselves as African, right? And again, I'm letting him go. I'm picking my shot where I chime in to ask the question, and we were kind of like just talking, like nothing was formatted, whatever. But he was talking a lot. I'll say that. So there's a few things that he said I wanted to dispute, but I never got a chance because he was talking a lot. You dig? So he kept saying we, like with the early free blacks. So like he said, yeah, they wrote this, they had this organization about we the Africans, whatever he was saying. So I'm like, we, like what you mean we? Like he's saying we, but he's misrepresenting we on purpose. Like he's playing semantics, playing word games. So I'm like, we who? Like you're acting like this we is all of the free blacks. Like that's a handful of free blacks that's saying we want this, we want that, we want African. I'm saying, yo, that we is a small percentage of the free blacks. But he's saying we we was majority all of them, like they wanted to be called African or African. So then he mentioned Frederick Douglass in that. So I said, bro, Frederick Douglass ain't never argued to be African, bro. Oh yeah, you right. So what I'm saying is I'm gonna highlight tonight when I go over the dialogue. I'm gonna highlight the bad faith argument, and he is trying to just check to see what I know and don't know. And what I don't know, he'll just lie. Like he was gonna let Frederick Douglass, he's gonna pretend Frederick Douglass represented the people who wanted to be African. So I checked him on that. He let that go, So he's telling history about certain things, and then I'm listening. Okay, I'm listening. He talked about the ACS a little bit. Y'all know I know my shit when it comes to that. But he's trying to fill for what I do know and don't know. And what I don't know, he's trying to stay there. Like people love to stay in a gray area. Like what you don't know or not familiar with, they want to stay there. Like, so he's doing a temperature check. He's doing a history check. Okay, whatever unbiased don't know, I'm gonna stay right there and change the narrative there. I'm like, dude, wherever you go, don't matter. It's gonna come back to the topic, delineation. Oh no, they were not delineating. I'm like, bro, what you mean they weren't not delineating? It was all them. They were one group. What you mean? The free blacks were one group. Why would free blacks delineate from each other? And you had the enslaved blacks who couldn't delineate from each other. So I'm like, what you mean there were no delineators? So this is just bad faith, a bad recollection of history. What do you mean they're not delineating? They're part of the same group. You dig? So Anyway, he tried to throw some gotchas in there, like gotcha questions. Bro, listen, man. You want to ask me who made the first saxophone in America, and I don't know. Oh, it was Richard Bakerville Selinsky. Okay, thanks. You didn't know that? Like, no, I didn't know that. Oh my God, you didn't know that? Like random Snapple facts. If you don't know it, oh, you didn't know that? Like, dude, my guy, how does that debunk delineation, my guy? Okay, so then he said, hey, what's your reparations bill? Okay. What do you mean a reparations bill? So we're gonna tackle that a little here on. I'm gonna show you how to respond to that bad faith question. So then we talked about HR 40. So he did some slick shit. So HR 40, we know that this is introduced by Conyers, Senator Conyers, Congressman Conyers, in 2013. Okay, what he did was I said, yo, I recall that being race based, not lineage based. So what he did was he shared his screen to a 2025 rendition of it, a revision of it in 2025. And the thing was like written over and edited and modified over and over and over and over. Like you could check it. So he showed a 2025 version of it. Like some slick shit. Again, like people just trying to do a gotcha thing. Like people are not in this to like really educate and really share information that's correct and right and exact. People trying to got this. So I didn't repeat that until like almost when we were done off the call. But then it came to mind. I was like, so he said, see, it's lineage based. Look, that's 2025, family. So towards the end of the call, I was like, wait a minute. I could have swore Dr. Sandy Darity said he had his hands on that thing. So I said, so I'm not even sure if it was race-based originally, because we're on the phone. We're not, both of us on the phone. So we're not on a computer. Well, I'm not. I'm not on a computer. I'm outside. You dig? I'm outside. So I'm not really sure, but I could have sworn it was race-based, and Dr. Sandy Darity and some other people, you know, from Adolph had put their spin onto it and made sure it was lineage-based. So if I wasn't really sure, so I said, no, let me look at this later. But that's what we call bad faith, disingenuous position. We're talking about the 2013 HR 40 bill, and he's gonna give us a 2025 version of it that was modified, edited, corrected, refined, all that type of stuff by many other people. Look, it's lineage based. I mean, I don't recall this thing there, but regardless, I looked at it real fast. Google said that the first edition was race based. So he said, "No, you gotta read the bill. It's always you gotta read this source up." Hey, dude, we got AI, man. This ain't 2001. We got AI there. You can just type in AI. Hey, what was the original bill lineage based, race based? So it said kind of like both. But anyway, like that's beside the point. The point is in the bill. This is 2013. The bill is using Jesse Jackson language. It's saying African Americans. So of course I highlight that, like, yo, my guy, this is talking about African Americans. Oh nah, but it also says U.S. lineage. I get that part. Right, but it also says African American. So it's doing what African American is doing what that category normally does. It's inclusive to Black Americans of U.S. chattel slavery, lineage, and also other diaspora. Everybody, any recent immigrant. It's sticking to that narrative where it's inviting us, but low key inviting any recent immigrant or old immigrant, first gen, second gen, by the terminology African American. Then he want to point back to, look, no, it says U.S. chattel slavery. Yes, that's the confusing part that all of us are arguing against. We're saying the language, it doesn't delineate. It's inclusive and exclusive at the same time. What do I mean? African Americans act as an ethnonym and a racial term. What's the difference? What's the difference? An ethnonym will be speaking to directly us, people of U.S. chattel slavery language, right? So African American speaks to that. But it also speaks to a racial category. which means anybody of African descent throughout the world who comes to America. So I'm like, yo, you don't see the problem here? Like you're arguing one side of the language when it's two sides. So you can't say it for us and then eliminate people who is also for them as well. Like these guys are on legal documents selecting African Americans to get DEI benefits, funding for college. You feel me? What else? Affirmative action, certain money's allocated. So like these guys are legally African Americans. So if you want to push something for African Americans, like look how weird the language is. These guys are legally African Americans. So if you push something for African Americans, they're gonna have the handout like, hey, what's up? Oh nah, this is lineage based. Yeah, but it says African American. You talking about lineage based crap. It says African American, and that's who I am. That's my whole entire existence in America, my whole stay here, I've been selecting African American and getting things for only African Americans. So now there's one thing for African Americans I can't get. That's discrimination. That's whatever. So you will have a lot of issues with that, a lot of lawsuits, and a lot of confusion there, right? That these Pan-African booty scratchers and feathers want us to work out when we get it. Like, nah, we're working that. We're like, nah, we are working that out now. Okay, we're choosing language that's not inclusive to recent immigrants to cause any confusion. We're going to use language like Adolf, descendants of freedmen, or foundational Black Americans. Exclusive language, my guy. Things that only ties to people who can trace their lineage through U.S. slavery. We don't want no confusing terms. As a matter of fact, we don't even want to share an ethnonym with anybody else. Ethnonyms are supposed to be unique, family. Ethnonyms are not supposed to be vague, ambiguous. So when somebody say they are Ethiopian, that's it. Ain't no vagueness to that. When somebody's ambiguous, when somebody say they're Eritrean, that's it. When somebody say they're Eritrean, you don't even think of Ethiopia as their neighbors. That's their ethnonyms. Ethnonyms are very specific, unique, and distinct. So I'm like, so you want us to be the only people on earth with an ethnonym that's inclusive to other people as well, as a racial broad term? And it's not like our ethnonym only includes this part of Africa or this island in the Caribbean. It includes all of Africa and all of the Caribbean together. Not even one over the other. Together, our ethnonym includes. We're like, nah, we're good with that trick burger. That language ain't good enough. We're good. Too much confusion, too much sorting out. When something is allocated for us and it says Adolf on there, no tether is thinking about themselves. If that thing says foundational Black American on there, no tether, no recent immigrant is thinking that they're foundational or American descendant of slavery. Like, this is clear-cut language. But these guys, they kissed Africa's ass so badly that they want us to like just be all inclusive to these people. But meanwhile, these Pan-African booty scratchers, they are not arguing for CARICOM to be this, to have a similar language. Where CARICOM is all inclusive. Like they're okay with CARICOM being lineage based and speaking for those who were harmed in the islands only, not extending that harm to America. They're okay with that. But these guys, a lot of them are not foundation Black Americans, so we see why they had that angle. Or they, as we know, they're dating a woman or a man who's not foundation Black American. You dig? So they have some type of dual allegiance where they're trying to sneak this FBA because they're a significant other, or trying to include recent immigrants because of their significant other. Either way, they got this dual allegiance. So once they start talking like that, that's why our next question is, okay, so we're explaining why we need to delineate. You're making this crazy argument how we shouldn't. And in spite of all the facts and analogies and logical explanations we're giving you, you still is holding on to it's okay to have all it's inclusive term that's ambiguous. So we like, all right, okay, cool. I know what's going on here. You're either retarded or you got uh, a immigrant significant other, or you're one yourself. And 9 times out of 10, that's usually the case. They're either an immigrant themselves or they're dating an immigrant significant other. These are some of the main reasons that they would speak against lineage-based reparations. So I had to school them more on the Japanese internment, lineage-based, and just lineage-based period. So then he made a big mistake. He said Cobra wasn't racial-based. So I was like, yo, you want to go to the website? Now, all of a sudden, I made a claim, and no longer he want to know. See, what he does is, let me get a source. But now when I say, hey, in Cobra, they push race-based reparations. You know what he didn't say? Give me a source, because he knew they did. He was hoping I didn't know. So all these guys do, man, all they do is try to find what you don't know and blindside you there with a lie. And they're okay with a lie. Even though they'll be exposed later, they don't care. Like, they want that lie to sit for the moment. But I already knew in Cobra was race-based. I read it. Nobody told me. I didn't Google it. I read it. I read the website. Oh, you know who started in Cobra? I don't wait. See, here we go again. Wait, we're talking about the organization. And now you're asking me, do you know who started in Cobra? I don't care, my guy. The hell I gotta do with it being race-based? I don't care if Michael Jordan created it. It's garbage. It's race-based. It's garbage. No, answer the question. You know who created in Cobra? Who started? Nah, I don't know the founder. Oh, she, yeah. And then that'd be the new argument. That's all that was going on last night. Like, yo, man, what did that guy do with Cobra being a race-based reparations organization? That's proudly Pan-African. Okay, they wear that on their sleeves. You go there, it's Kwanzaa, Teddy Ruxpins all over the place. Okay, so they wear that on their sleeves. Kwanzaa hats, all type of dashikis and bushmeat all throughout the damn website. No, bad faith arguments, man. You don't call in a panel with bad faith positions and think you're putting in work. You're not. And you're getting checked on everything. So then he want to justify Tethers saying they hate Foundation Black Americans because of a movie. A movie. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to you? Grown ass adults that they think are smart. I'm talking about the Pan-Africans. Grown adults that they think is smart. You're telling me that we should link up with people who will watch a movie and judge an entire lineage based off a movie that's clearly a movie. You feel me? You can't get it all. You can't get it both ways. If somebody's that stupid, if a people are that stupid to watch a movie and then condemn a whole lineage, that's the representative of the melanated nation. Ain't, like I said, I told him, I said, bro, ain't none of those countries combined do as much as we did over here in America. And you want to tell me they watch a movie, they throw all away our great history because they watched a movie, not a documentary, not a, whatever. So then they go here next. Like, their rebuttals are garbage. I don't know who they used to talking to. Oh, nah, you trying to tell me when we watched the cartoons and it was a commercial, he trying to get to the Ethiopian commercial. I'm like, yeah, what about it? Like, that's not, what are you talking about? It's not a movie, that's a commercial. That's real life. Okay. So you tell me those flies are fake? That belly is, what's the point of bringing up an Ethiopian when we're talking about people saying they're watching movies? Another false equivalence, another bad faith argument. This kept happening over on the phone call last night. And I'm trying to take him serious, and he's trolling the whole time. Like, for gotcha moments. Okay, so I'm gonna replay this stuff today. I'm gonna show you. Okay, so what else he went to? Okay, so now he ran from what we stand on, which is delineation. It's like, okay, so because we established, he pretty much agreed reparations should be lineage based. So it's like really no need to dwell on that too much, right? So I'm now because that's our main thing. Our main thing when we argue for reparations, we want to make sure that the party knows that we're arguing for reparations for only those that have the U.S. chattel slavery lineage. That's it. So that's it. So once he conceded to that, it's like no need to talk about that anymore. Oh, where's your reparation bill? I'll talk about that later. Reparation bill? Like, what are you talking? Like that's not a requirement. When you're where's the so the Jap? I won't do that right now. But family, that's not a requirement from the harmed party. When you're harmed by somebody, by the government or whomever, it's not the harmed party duty to come up with a bill. Okay, so again, we'll talk about that later. Bad faith. Which I ain't seen a reparations bill. You never will. Not from us, but you will see the argument for reparations, though. That's all the burden of proof for us, not a reparations bill. That's the government. What we do is prove that we're the injured party and how much is owed and who is going to be delivered to. That's our position. That's it. The bill is for legislators, Congress, and whoever else that take care of the money, the president, whoever else that take care of the money. So again, bad faith arguments, gotcha moments. So now he's with the video. Oh, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna get it with commentary too. So we're gonna go over everything. Now we're gonna see when we touch on delineation, he runs like hell, like the running man, my man MC Hammer. Hussein Bolt when we talk about delineation. Oh nah. So I'm explaining, yeah, but African American has a dual usage. The fact that others can be invited to this terminology, we're saying we're good. And then even going back to the free blacks, he said, yeah, somebody wrote the African race, brother. There's no such thing as the African race. There's no such thing as the African race. So whoever wrote that back in those days, they made the shit up. No such thing as the African race. But I say, now they keep saying African. What is that? So you want to be entire continent over Africans? Impossible. Africans are people born on a continent. You are African when you're born from a continent, and you are from a particular country of that continent, and you speak a particular language of that country, and you have a culture. You eat some type of bushmeat from that country. That's an African. An African was born on a continent. The African is from a country of the continent of the 54 countries, and they have most likely a flag, a language, a culture. That's an African. That ain't us. So he's hell bent on that. So then he referred to me a book by some African booty scratching named Leslie something. So the book was called African or American, right? Man, I get a quick synopsis of this bullshit. They're arguing that we're African. It's back to the circular bullshit. Like, yo, how are we Africans? Africans are from countries within a country, and they are majority of those people. Like DNA wise, they are majority of those people. We're not majority nothing in Africa. Not one single country was the majority of anyone. We're 15% this, 10% that, 20% this, 8% that. Not Africans, real Africans. They are native Africans are 80, 90, 70% of that region, of that country, of that tribe. So I say, even if we're African, we're a different type of African than the Africans. But listen, family, what you're not going to do is change an old man mind, especially a Pan-African or Black nationalist. They're stuck. They're locked into the white man's the devil, Yaku, big-headed scientist, Planet Risk. They're locked into that. Esau, like that's their thing. Ain't nothing gonna get them out of there. America's Babylon, nothing will get them out of that mindset. So when I invite the Moore family and I cook them, it's not to change their mind. That is for anybody who came into the channel who's on the fence, because we have a lot of FBAs who are coming from the Pan-African background. We have a lot of them coming from the Black nationalist background, and they're coming here. And all they heard was the talking points of the Pan-African booty scratchers that come over here. Like they never really heard those talking points challenged before and debunked. So that's why I make those guys an example when they come over. Yeah, so what we want to see, all right, when you call in and you talk to unbiased Ron, delineation, you disagree, go. You dig? Not no made up position that you want to argue and, oh, yo, the free blacks. Nah, they didn't do that. Yes, they did. I'm saying they did. Yes, they did. Okay, whatever. I won. You won what? What'd you win? Delineation is still needed. Like, it's still happening. So where'd you win? Like, bro, you only win when you can stop delineation. That's when you win. But his main argument was trying to deceive me to believe that there's no need to delineate from. And I was trying to explain, like he was not even interested to hear our core reasons why we're delineating. Like he was not, like he was just good with the word. Just the word alone was good for him. But no, it was built to ask. Okay, the gotchas and the side arguments, confusion, but deception, but argument, delineation, reparations, I was built to ask. He had nothing for me on topic, which was delineation. I'm gonna play it back. So the reason why I'm prefacing this because I want you guys to know when I play it back, don't get caught up on that voodoo shit. Don't get caught up on the voodoo stuff that he started going into. Focus on him debunking delineation. Focus on him supposedly proving that we don't need to delineate. Like that's something that's we're stretching it. We're overreaching. We're paranoid. We're xenophobic. That's his argument. That's his position. His position is delineation is not needed. And we're pooping on Africans and Caribbeans. Some shit they just make up. But then justify them saying they hate us because of movies. All right. So I'm gonna highlight when I do the recap of that, I'm gonna highlight all of this major talking points. We can look at how goofy they are and bad faith they are, and the bad analogies from the African the transatlantic slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, and the crack cocaine. I don't know how he even put those both in his mouth. Pause. But this is what happens when you have nothing, and you're trying to come up with some wordplay magic, hoping it works. Yeah, I'm gonna discourage these guys from deleting by just lying and word salad. No, bro. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work. You got the right one. Oh, yo, define black. Yo, go ahead and Google Black American and see what you get. So I'm like, bro, I don't gotta Google it. I know what it says. No, Google it. Google it. I said, bro, it's gonna say it's a ethnic and race. Yeah. Dude, that's my argument, idiot. That's why I say we gotta get rid of it. Why do we want a term that's inclusive and exclusive at the same time? Speaking to us only and then speaking to everybody else besides us or with us. Like that wasn't a bar. Family, these folks are trying to get where I'm at. These folks were on the internet 1,000 years, like she said, and got really no buzz at all. And they only got a little life when they mention our name. Look at their video titles, the FBA them, and look at their video titles without it. Garbage. My titles, my views the same no matter what the title is. I could talk about Tiger Woods, his last game and golf. And my lean is gonna support or rock out. And that's why I think he said, yeah, but you tell people to don't come to my channel. I never said don't go to your channel. I said our people should not go to none of the channels that are Pan-African, that normally speaks on Pan-Africanisms, but only speak on FBAs to get click views. Grifting, that's called a grift. They call us grifters. You're the grift. My channel's called FBA News Updates. I'm supposed to talk about FBA stuff. Your channel is called Pan-African Booty Scratcher, bro. That's what you should be talking about. You go live, 30 views, 30 live views, 20. Sometimes you have 5. Nobody's checking for it. Like FBA, some of us off code pull up to watch it. What? They're going to say the same thing over and over and over. What are they saying that's different? The same bad faith arguments that we already debunked. The dude is looking at Tariq Nasheed's website, and he's looking at how Tariq Nasheed explains the symbolisms of the flag that Tariq Nasheed got. The big flag. He thinks that Tariq Nasheed is adding to the definition of FBA. Like that is like we can't help it. At that point, that's a tough issue. I explained to him over and over and over, bro. A definition is definitive. Once that period is over, it's over. You cannot add to it. You can explain and highlight and recap and analyze and do everything else, but you cannot add to the definition. They're definitive. That went over his head like 30 times because they got an agenda. Like, so that don't make sense. So definitions, I gave an example. If you look up a cat or a stop sign or a rock, once that thing says period, the definition is over. Yo, by the way, if Tariq Nasheed retracts his flag today, is it the definition still the definition? All right. So the definition don't come with nothing. It stands alone. But all they do is gotcha stuff. They're hoping somebody unlearned, like an African booty scratcher, suntan, that's pretending to be FBA, who's converted to, oh, see the light now. Africanism is that's where it's at. No, you have not refuted the need to delineate. You have not refuted none of my talking points on that. I was superior on that topic, and you went to other things, and I'm trying to see where you're going. You're talking about free blacks, the ACS. You're talking about things. I'm trying to see where you're going. I'm trying to see how does this, to me, family, to be honest, I'm thinking that this is his way of showing how delineation is not needed. So I'm trying to like tie that into, okay. All right, hold on, that's wrong because, hold on. Oh, no, yeah, that's wrong. Hey, no. Like, yo, bro, why are you even reading that? You read this book right here, African or American? No, bro. Hold on, you gotta get that. No, we're done with the books. We're done with the books. We don't need no Pan-African books, bro. We're done. We're done. All right. That whole thrift, that whole scam is done. Oh, you need the book. I'm gonna, especially recommended by them. I'm not buying no book recommended by a Pan-African. Any Pan-African adjacent person, any Pan-African hybrid, I'm passing. Okay, I know it's gonna be propped up. This is 54, and then I had said, hey, he said, nah, the Africans and the Caribbeans, man, they unite all the time. But now, mind you, I'm trying to debunk that. I can't get a word in. So finally, I slipped in. But what about the West Indian Federation? These guys tried to link up. Man, that shit fell apart in 4 years. He started laughing because they think you don't know this stuff, man. They're trying to lie and see what sticks. That's all they're doing. Trying to see what we don't know, and they'll make that stick right there. No, I know about the West Indies Federation. Garbage. They couldn't get along for shit. Even because the Pan-African liberation movement of the 1960s. I couldn't even get that in, family. He made a bold lie claim about these tethers getting along at some time in history. I'm like, that's a lie. So as I'm going to explain how the opposite. Oh, let me ask you this question right here. These yes and no questions. Hey, dude, man, if you don't stop these yes and no questions, bro, let's talk about delineation. Yeah, so that doesn't work. Yeah, so don't worry. You'll see. Play back tonight. And we're going to see. Wow, looking over talk. He couldn't refute nothing about delineation. He had no real argument. So, and this is their king. The live is going to be called Delta M. Might go live right away. Might go live at 9. I'm not sure either. Either 7 p.m. Eastern time or 9. It might go right away on them, or I might go midnight. Well, not midnight. At 9 p.m. Eastern. All of his cult members in my chat. Yo, where's the video? Where's the video? Oh, don't worry. You don't get it. That ain't what you think it is. And he told you. That thinking gotcha questions, how you have a dialogue and stand the truth. That ain't how you stand on truth. Stand on truth is about standing on truth. And we're gonna see what arguments he posed that debunked the need to delineate from. And then like he wouldn't even. I try to go even further about delineation. He cuts off asking new questions. He was not interested at all. He can't refute it. And I'm not intimidated, so I'm letting him go. All right. Whatever you say, I think it's going to support that the issue is not needed. We're doing too much. We're xenophobic. So I took the morning Robin's airport. 35. Yeah, by the way, I put your Hickey 62 posted that. He didn't know much about that. He didn't want to talk about it. So I see them do. You stop being nice to people when they call in. So next time when these Pan-Africans call in, these coons and tethers, I'm just gonna say, look, hello, what's your name? Okay, cool. We are delineating FBAs. What's your problem with that? Go. All right, so we're gonna pop off the conversation where it doesn't go nowhere else to pretend we're debating something else. No, delineation. What's your issue? We're gonna pop off every conversation from gangsters from here on out on delineation. No more being nice when people just rant and ramble and laughing at them while you talk in circles. Delineation, go. And once they go off topic, oh nah, see the you got this book called African Tether. No, man. Get back to delineation. I don't want to read African Tether. The making of the African Tether. I don't care. Yeah, I'm sure you got some logical fallacy for why that happened. I'm good. And this was their leader. Everybody kept saying, yo, man, this guy right here. And you got this other tether they call said, yeah, these guys right here, these the ones. Because they beat up you? The guy wrapped up in 2 seconds? Like, stop, man. Like, these ain't my kings. I don't respect their research and their ability to argue anything. Dude's got no swag. The dude said be wearing glasses with a goddamn flannel with his doctor pulled up to his chest. What the hell are you gonna say about delineation that's gonna overwhelm me? With big ass steel toe boots and he don't do no construction. He does, who knows, but you know, steel toe boots for what? We ain't do no hard work. So then the dude, Allen, yesterday said, yeah, so they watch these movies and they see the crime. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, stop, man. You're talking about people who claim they're watching movies about criminal activity happening here in Black America. I said, bro, even if that was true, those guys are numb to criminal activity. What are you talking about? Are you serious? These guys are number one and number two in crime in the world. Jamaica is the Chicago of the world. Yeah, Jamaica is the Chicago of the world. Chicago is a city, small city in America that used to be violent, whatever. But Jamaica is the country Chicago of the world for the last 60 years, by the way. The most violent country ever. Okay, and then they're number two now. I think Nigeria took their spot, or one of these other uh, wasteland countries took their spots. So congratulations, you're really decreasing the crime. You went from number one to number two. So then I said, yo, Pan-Africans can't agree on HIT. They can't come together for nothing. We see it. These guys sell books. Nobody's buying them. No Pan-African buying them. There's no millionaire Pan-African author self-published, but they're all self-published. There's no wealthy self-published Pan-African author. There's no wealthy Pan-African self-publishing company. There's no wealthy Pan-African bookmark company. You sell all those books, you should sell bookmarks too. They look at their live stream. Nobody there. So they go, Pan-Africans don't even sell rock with other Pan-Africans. Come on, man. Like, this is a dead movement that's been dead for decades, man. And the only life you got ain't because of the Pan-Africanism, it's because of FBAism. You put our name in that damn topic, now you're lit for a short period of time. And just know you're lit because we're lit. That lit comes from us. That glow comes from the name FBA. Or if you put Unbiased Ron there or Tariq Nasheed, you put one of our names in there, the glow's still there. But you ain't lit for your own topic. You ain't lit, Pan-African nothing. They put their own topics in there at FBA. Ain't nobody there. That's like the Serengeti when it has that little moment where it doesn't rain for like so long. Everybody just dying. Yeah, man. All this random information y'all giving me. Yeah, so, and then William Barksdale, right? So William Barksdale did in 1830. You know what he signed? Nah, what did William Barksdale sign? You don't know? RG Foundation Black America. Yeah, I am. You don't know what William Barksdale signed in the 1830s? Nah, what he signed? Man, he signed over his right to own. What? Why I need to know that? Nah, you need to know all Black history. Every little spectacle of it. I don't care about their relevancy. Like, that's how petty they are now. We need to know all about Black Americanism. No, man, but we need to know reparations. You need to read. No, I don't gotta be. Listen, man, I don't gotta be a pretend lawyer. We got lawyers. ADOS, FBA, they're different. How? ADOS is speaking to the same lineage. When they speak about reparations or wherever they're talking about, they're speaking to ADOS. That's us. That's FBA. They're speaking about us. When somebody represent U.S. descendants of slavery, they're speaking about us. When somebody represent Foundation Black Americans, they're speaking about the same lineage. That doesn't work over here, my guy. You think we're different. You think because we're called ADOS, we're called FBA, and we're called descendants of freedmen. You think that's different because your crazy ass sees all as organizations like your goofy organization, which is Pan-Africanism. That's a nothing burger. So you can't help but to see it as an organization and family. Organizations organizations, Pan-African organizations in America are the new tribes. Pan-African organizations are the new tribes. They're the modern tribes in America. So when you see the UNIA, when you see Cobra and all these other Pan-African tribes, Pan-African organizations, these are the new modern tribes. That's a modern way to say African tribe in America. Pan-African organization. You guys have nothing against delineation. You're mad as hell for not backing off. The arguments are foolproof. And tonight, we'll make an example out of somebody. Okay, I'm gonna point out where they're lying, misrepresenting history, and we're gonna talk about that reparations bill that he asked for, asking for something that's not even required. Again, gotcha and bad faith argument. But we got you though. Fact check you, my guy. Fact check you. I'm like, what the? Yo, what is the CCWT? I don't know. That is the coon walk, the plank. Okay. You don't know about the coons that walk the plank? Nah. Oh, you ain't FBA. Oh, you guys in the coat. Commercial leader. You don't know about the coons that walk the plank? No, tell me about them. I don't even know either, but you ain't know, so that's all that matters. You ain't know. I ain't supposed to know, but you ain't know either. So, and you FBA, you think you know everything, so you ain't know. It's a cult. It's a cult. You guys xenophobic. You got devices. Because you don't know all these fancy acronyms that we come up with out of nowhere. No, my guy, that's not how that works. So I advise all of you. And by the way, I'm gonna cook on Dr. Ruxpin because he keep and we in his mind on we free rent. So he got a video he did. I already got the rebuttal for that. I was gonna do it last night until the guy called me out, took an L. And he got another weird video tonight. Again, he gets no motion under Pan-Africanism titles. So I'm saying let's put out there like leave them alone, man. Let them die out. Now, am I saying what channel not to go to? Nope. I'm saying just leave them alone. Like why reward a hateful, disrespectful talk coming for the lineage? Like who wants to hear that all day? Big. I play for the defense, okay, of FBA. I'm on the defensive units, and it's my job to watch those boring ass videos and debunk them, so they gain no legs. That's my job. Your job is to focus on FBA shit. That's it. All right. So with that being said, family, thank you. I appreciate you. Revenue. I don't know what's up with him. He's still missing ever since him and Tariq got into it. Yeah. So alive tonight, addressing this fake ghost. Like I guess he's a black ghost. Oh, the black ghost. Oh man, the video. Yeah. Don't worry. We're gonna watch the video. We're gonna see where he debunked delineation. Doesn't exist. He ran from the topic like they all do. All right, man. Peace to the family. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your attention. But this was a public announcement. The channel is called FBA News and Update. This was an update because we went live late last night and it was late. So some people watched it, some people didn't. They'll be replayed today. So it wasn't taken down until late this morning. That means it was up all last night, all this morning. So let me take this down because they're going to try to clip and misrepresent me because these are deceptive people, man. They hate us and they want our spot because like they look at us as competitors. We're competing for the attention of the masses with Pan-Africanism competition. But that's how they can't help with the views like that. Let me take this video down and let me give the context behind the video. Why this video had no subject. And you'll see once I start the video, you're gonna see he's just talking about this Black history. And this had nothing to do with delineation. Yeah, so not over here, my guy. That voodoo magic don't work with the lineage and nowhere else, man. It just works in your mind. Peace, B1, BE1, verb B1, B1 with the lineage, B1 on code, and we one, WE 1. Plural pronoun, we are one lineage. You dig?